I would like you to sign on the dotted line. I have a pen. I do believe they say the pen is mightier than the sword. I have a contract right here. Pay no attention to the details. It's just a contract. These are formalities. You can have everything you want. Just sign away your soul to me. I mean, sign to the agreement. And it can all be yours. Oh, what's going on, good people? It is the Badwolf. As always, I like to bring a little humor and a little delectable entertainment to these videos. We can't always be serious. But as always, this is entertainment, informational purposes only. You should always do your own vetting of information, whether it's mine or, well, somebody else's. All right. So with that being said, what is this particular video about? Well, if you didn't read the title, well, then you probably can't read. But if you can't read, I'll let you know. It's about signing on the dotted line. Now, that's not all we're going to be talking about today, but we're going to go over a couple of things there. Then we're going to jump into the information. Now, by signing on the dotted line, I was thinking today, and I want to give credit out to my cousin A6 on YouTube. So make sure you guys join his channel as well. And don't forget about my backup channel, which is the Badwolf Media channel, okay, on YouTube. So we did a video a while back on the X, okay? And we talked about how the X was a mark of a slave or property in the old days. They would have the slaves literally write an X on the dotted line. And this was used in law to bind them into contracts, to involuntary servitude, and everything else associated. Because all that's legally, which means the public, required is your mark. Now, some would throw in their mark of the beast. That can be said, neither here nor there. But you making your mark of any sort is your seal. It's your representation, okay? The representation. You're actually presenting, but you're representing something, okay? So we now know that if you look at your checks, the line that you sign on your checks actually is not a line. That's why at the end of it, it has an M and a P, and that stands for micro print. So get out your magnifying glasses and check it out. It actually says authorized agent, authorized agent, authorized agent. So that's in fact who you are. You are the authorized agent over that account. So legally, they've been telling you who and what you are the entire time, but you, well, you didn't see. You missed the mark. All right. So today I'm sitting here thinking, and why it just popped in my head, the dotted line, sign on the dotted line. Well, we now know that sign is a signature or a sign of nature. Okay. It is also a sign, as in you are the representation of the entity. But why the line? For some reason, my mind put together that could the line possibly represent the line you cross as a jurisdictional line? or as the bar itself? Could the line that you sign your name on above the line actually be the bar? The line could represent the bar, which though we loosely say that the BAR stands for the British Accreditation Registry or Registrar, but we know it's the bar, and the bar is for barista, which is the person who conveys the information over the line, because one side represents the private, one side represents the public. Okay. And we in our normal capacities are in fact private. However, from their perspective, they're the private ones and we're the public. But we'll play it as this. We're the private, they're the public, even though they are operating out of their own private jurisdiction, but it's so large, it's called the public. So in fact, they are the public, they deal with the public, and they swore in and are signed as being the public. So could it be that when you sign your John Hancock, you autograph your given name on this line by the X that represents you as property, a dead entity? Now we know that really we should be circling that. You know, not saying that somebody's going to run off the back and say, "Oh, hey, you figured it out." But if X means you're dead and you're the deceased party, the property, we know that in biblical tales and times, the circle always relates to living or life. It's even one of the signs of God or gold. So we circle the X. Not that you have to. This is just educational information. But the dotted line, if I understand what it represents, is that the line is the jurisdictional line that you're signing on. You're signing on this particular top half of the line. Now, what could that possibly represent? Well, we all know that everything on the ground and low is the land. So could it be that underneath that line represents the dry land and the living, and above that line represents the dead? And that anything, see, land can be below water and water can be above land, but land cannot be above water. So if they're making a sign, could it be that on top of the line is in all actuality us showing that we are the dead entity, that we've crossed the line into their jurisdiction, into their waters? Would that represent a ship on top of the water, which is above the land? These are just thoughts. These are just thoughts. So, and of course, by all means, just like on Bugs Bunny, you know, they always have a contract. I like the first part of the word con. All right. But in this case, this is actually the declaration. I would never have an evil contract in hand, but I will say I was offered to sign one a long time ago. We'll leave that for another show, though. All right. All right. So with that being said, guys, welcome to Sunday night. We'll call it Sunday Night Live because we're all living here, right? And I want to thank A6, my young cousin, for giving me the spot, because I don't like to compete, you know, with him and him with me. So we try to pick different days so that each time we're not drawing from each other's crowds, because most of the people from mine are on his and his are on mine and vice versa. So actually he might show up on the show, but he said he's going to take the night off. So we'll see if he graces us with his appearance later on. If not, I told him to enjoy the night and the show. So, all right, so let's take a look at some of these things, the comments we have here. And by all means, check in where you guys are from. If you guys want to ask some questions, you got a couple of things. Try not to make it anything too in-depth for me to go into, at least not here. But, you know, I'll try to get into some of them. So that's it, guys. Those are just my thoughts, is that the top of the line represents a ship, and your name, just like your citizenship, is on top of the water, underneath the line. Now, I'm not saying go out and sign your contracts underneath it, because you know what they'll probably say? That's not a valid way to sign a contract. All right. Now, here's a tidbit also for you guys. Anything that you've signed, if there's not another signature of a living party on there, it's not a official contract. For a contract to be valid, it has to have two parties. And as we all know, the corporations are dead. So to have a valid contract, there really should be two signatures. And one of them, if not yours, the other one should be an authorized agent who speaks on behalf of the company. Now, in many cases, the legal system allows for you to use a stamp. Now, I haven't looked into the legalities across the board because each state can actually do a little bit different of ways on how they operate this, but there still is supposed to be some kind of indicator, signature, legal mark to seal the deal. And if not, it's a unilateral contract, which means that it's not valid in law. All right, so let's take a look what we got here. We got Mama of Three. Hey, Miss Lady, thank you in advance. Big John, just want to say thank you for all the hard work you do. United we stand, divided we fall. Facts. That's what they're trying to do to us right now. With all these red versus blue, this and that, the show, the entertainment must go on. They are dividing the people. We don't even know who and what we are. Peace and love. Oh my God, I finally caught alive. It's I've been watching you a little over a year. Leisha R. All right. Appreciate you. Thank you for catching this live. I like to do one on a Sunday every once in a while. Like I said, I just don't like to step on anybody, you know, that I run with. And they do the same thing for me. So usually I do mine on like either a Monday or a Tuesday. And I like to sit back and watch, you know, people like Six, Brandon Joe Williams on Facebook, and, you know, Fearless Floyd, Sovereign Living, TJ, you know, all the other greats out there. You know, I like to watch them, see what they're doing, see what they learn, because nobody knows it all. Tom, X does mark the spot, brother. Family first. Yes, yes. Peace. Greetings, Wolf. What's going on, Israel? Hey, thank you guys for supporting. Thank you guys for appreciating. Thank you, Joey Long, as well. Thank you guys. This has been my life's work. I've been doing this, like I said, since I was 9 years old, and started going to court at 19 and battling, you know, for my rights and freedoms. Humor is definitely needed. Thank you. Yeah, I had some people go, why do you always start off something like so dramatical or weird and theatrical? You know, if you take everything serious, you'll find that you become a serious person. And if you're becoming serious, too serious, then you're finding yourself becoming official. And if you're becoming official, then you're going to be like them. All right. So, and plus this stuff can drive you mad and crazy. So, you know, have a little fun with it. Cherokee, what's going on, lady? Appreciate you. Appreciate the love. Looking good. I'm trying, letting the beard grow in. I'm not, it's the first time I've ever seen a beard on me, you know, at least at this level. I'm going to let it grow out and see what I look like in full. But, you know, so sorry if the people don't like it. I'm just going to see what it do. New member Daniel C., member of the Wolf Pack. Appreciate you guys. Yes, yes. Yeah, you know, I've heard Yusufel mention me from other people. I've heard some of it good, you know, some of it not so good. So I don't know if he would necessarily want to collab. He's got his style, I've got mine. But we're all running this race, though maybe a little bit differently, but in the same direction. So I wish nothing but success, and especially against the beasts, as he likes to refer to them, as the DC beast. For that brother and everybody doing this. Everybody should have their own channel and sharing their life experiences and how to move. But yeah, he's been in the game a long time. Yeah, illiterate people used to use an X. They also used to force slaves to do it. You know, because they didn't remember, they didn't want, most of the slaves were illiterate for obvious reasons, because, you know, they didn't want them to learn how to manipulate the system. They feared what we're doing right now. We can read, we can write, we can speak their language. They didn't want that to happen. So yeah, most of them were illiterate. Some people still to this day just put an X down because they don't want to actually put their name, you know, it's kind of a loophole. But a lot of times the banks or whoever else, they may not accept it. They may say, oh, this is not a legal proper way for you to sign, you know, because if it ever was challenged, they can't prove without video that X was you, which binds you to the contract, which forms joinder. C spot run and the black spot. Yes, yes. The sin nature. Yes. Yep, you got it, Will. So when an 8 hands you a contract and draws an X while saying sign here, what is the meaning of that? Because you aren't signing with the X, but so they like to have it from their perspective. X marks the spot. Okay, it's to draw your eyes into this exact line light. That's why they use crosshairs. So officially, what they're saying by the low-level functionaries is that, hey, I'm drawing your eye into this particular spot for you to put your mark to bind you into this contract. We're going to make this official, and by doing this, you are going to be held to the letter of the particular law in which this contract is drafted. So that particular jurisdiction. For instance, there's public law, family law, private law, state law, federal law, international law. So when you do that, you're saying, I agree to your rules or the rules of this particular item. So we also know that in their books, the Chicago Style Manual or Manual of Styles, the Red Book on Legal Style, the Blue Book of Citations, we know that anytime they do something in the public, something legal, especially to represent inside of a corporation, public, their laws, their books say that the words and the things have to be conspicuous. So that's why they raise the lettering of the name or the words. They draw them big in capitis diminutio maxima format, or rather, I should say, in the typography of all capitals or upper and lower. And they use the X to draw it in to make it conspicuous. It has to be obvious that you're signing into this agreement. Big John, yes, yes. Yep, they are trustees. Yep, yep, you got it. Okay, you guys are, I like this. You guys are on the mark. There you go. Williams got it too. Yeah, the assumed name in the it's in UCC section 1-201 under conspicuous. It denotes that they have to make the word or lettering different from the all lowercase lettering. So lowercase lettering means that it is private or normal. There's no additional meanings behind it, and it's not formal. It's not to be construed as an arrangement under law. So when you start to do the very opposite of private things, they have to show you that there's an agreement here, that you're going into a different jurisdiction. So yeah, they will put it in all caps. So all caps, we now understand that you are going into a different jurisdiction, which correlates to capitis diminutio maxima, which is all caps is a full loss of rights. Okay. X, yeah, we do believe that X means spiritually dead. Yep. Dead entity. If you've already circled the X, wouldn't that mean the signature on the line is of a living thing? Yeah, so hypothetically, that's what I would think. It also could then represent that you are not operating under their flag with the skull and crossbones, okay, the skull and crossbones, and that you are not under their flag and you're not sailing one of their ships. You are, in fact, living and you have your own ship, because that would be the opposite of what they're doing. I never was able to find conclusive evidence with the use of the color green. I do know that it does mean something, but I haven't been able to find anything solidly on that. And the $1 stamp, traditionally that is supposed to indicate that you are bringing it into the UPU. so that you're basically trying to tell them that you're saying that this is going to be under the jurisdiction of the UPU. All right. I haven't seen anybody utilize that where like they proved to me that it worked, but those are the meanings behind it. Yep. 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 Tom, that is in fact it. It is in fact it says authorized agent, unless they've changed it. Don't forget to let us know where you guys hail from. Let me know, even if you have your own micronation, if you guys have your own, whether it's a YouTube channel or your own Telegram groups where other people can find you and join your groups as well. My information is always at the bottom down here, but hey, use this time to share it and help people find you. Ow! Badwolf Live. Hit that like button. All right, you guys heard Serrano. Please hit that like on the way in. I'm not keeping track of that right now. I'm just going to assume everybody who's watching has hit the like button, even if this is your first time, your second time, or whatever time. All right, we got people in Louisiana out there, Caroline, NC, Angel's Voice, Cherokee, the Republic of Ohio. Absolutely. XRP, well, that's the way to be. I've got some loot in there as well. I would definitely say that's not a bad thing to put some ducats in. When it comes to the common law copyright, you have to put the 30-day notice in your place where I was born. If I understand you correctly, the common law copyright, the way we usually do it is you can just make your own form. Now, I usually make like 2 or 3 copies. I'll take one and mail it to myself with an envelope, because then it's got the GOV seal on there as the date and time that this was created, and then it's sealed. Obviously, get them all notarized, and you should put out a notice, whether on the internet, on a paper, newspaper, whatever else. You should do that. But once again, if you did the poor man's copyright on there, you should be good. Yes, yes. I have like probably 4 or 5 of them, EINs, all the various ones that I can get my hands on with the different statuses that they come with. Remember, the straw man using SSN, it's not about getting rid of it. It's about not using it if you don't have to, or using it properly. So yeah, use your EIN. Get an EIN as a tax-exempt entity. Like, I think it's like 80 or 90% of people in Minnesota have all their properties, all their stuff, get paid through their EINs or their trusts. So that's the way to be. That is the way to be. Yes, yes. So this right here that's the fire right there. That's the fire in the sauce. This is the proof right here that those bonds that they issue are in fact, well, let me say this correctly. We have rights to them by subrogation. Okay, so yes, the meaning of a minor is a person who has not attained the age of majority, or the age of the majority. That's where we're at now, over 18. And one who has not claimed the securities in their minor account. So all of those securities are in our minor account, which is in the straw man's name. We have rights to those by subrogation. Now, how to access them, that I personally do not know at this point in time, but I've made enough videos where if you guys watch them, you should be able to potentially find out how to do that. And if you do, let me know. All right. AJ, so smash the likes. Let's get them likes up, guys. Will you show us how to properly put our autograph when we sign papers? Well, really for you, you need to figure out how you want to do it, okay? So some people will, like for me, will just use my name. They'll just go James C Lovett, and they'll UCC 1-308. Okay, that's one way you can do it. You can use your given name properly. So for me, it'd be like saying James, Cash Money, comma, or just of the house Lovett or of the Lovett nation, comma, beneficiary. Okay. So it's all really how you want to move and autograph it. Okay. Some places will not let you use red. So some people, like me, for instance, I might use a red pen like this one and go James Charles of the House of Lovett, comma, beneficiary. Some people go James, Charles, dash of the House Lovett or of the Lovett Nation, the tribe of Lovett. So whatever it is, as long as it doesn't look like your normal just James C. Lovett signature, is pretty much it. All right. Some people will take it a step farther and make sure that nothing is capitalized, all lowercase when you do any of those variations, because we now know that normal and not stepping our feet into their waters, if you will, is all lowercase. That's capitis minimus. All right. No loss of anything. Quan X credit getting team. Yeah. I know Taquan. We've chatted a couple times. He's got lots of good information. He's another person that puts it all out there. He shows, everything he's going through. Once again, just like, Yusuf and everybody else, everybody, when they get the information, it's the same stuff. It's no different than religion. Everybody uses it their own way because you have to find your own way. So what you do is you just, listen to everybody's information. And if you feel that you resonate with that person, then you use it the way they do, or you mix and match the information and cut your own path. What's going on? We got Las Vegas in the house. Rios, what's going on, brother? Good to see somebody passionate about the truth, concerned with their fellow mankind. Yes, we're all family. I don't care. As long as you respect me, I respect you. You know what I mean? I don't care if you're male, female, trans, quad, alien, whatever, Bigfoot. It don't matter to me. It's all about truth and freedom. That's it. I don't see color. I don't care about any of that stuff. That's stuff so, stupid because they use that to divide us. Because if you're too busy paying attention to the show, you're not looking at the man behind the curtain. And that's why I want to keep my eyes. Just like with magic. Anytime magic tricks were going on, I wasn't paying attention to the ball. I'm looking at all the sleight of hands and all the setup and stuff going on behind the scenes. Zena says, greetings, Wolf. That beard looking good on you. All right. Thank you. Cherokee. Why so serious? I want to show you my process. I'm sure you might not have thought of it, how I do it. All right, yeah, just hit me up, email me or something. Or else if you stay to the end of the show, I might open it up for people who want to jump in and chat and share some stuff. So yeah, just sit tight if you can. If not, just email me and I'll run through it. Speed, what's going on? Yes, you are a busy man. You are a busy man. So I know that it's hard for you to soak up all the information. So I appreciate when you do. Doesn't matter if you properly endorse the security on the front of the page or on the back. I'm not super versed in the security process. That's somewhere where I'm weak. I would need to find somebody who's like a securities broker or whatever else to give me all the ins and outs. I would say look up the law on endorsement and how to endorse a security properly. Should be actually in the UCC book. I mean, that is the book of all things commercial. So I would say look in there for how to endorse. But normally most things are endorsed on the back, but at the same time, there's lots of things that they want you to endorse in the front. So I can't really tell you more than that right now, but most things are on the back. If there's no place on the front, then it's on the back. What's going on? Dollars, Reef Dallas. Yeah, I've collabed with a couple of people. Even had Taquan on the show before. I don't know. It's one of those things where we're usually so busy doing our own thing that most of us don't have time we don't really sit down and go, oh, I really want this person on my show. Usually we go, I want somebody who can help further this, like in the, in the trenches, like somebody who can bring things together, like a police officer or a federal agent, or, somebody in the IRS, like I did with Sherry Peel Jackson. That's usually the kind of thing. It's just, we kind of just do our own thing. It's not that we're not trying to chat. Like I said, I don't have any animosity with, anybody. It's just, we're like, we're like this. We're going through our files and we're looking to bring you guys some more stuff and show you what we've done, Yeah. A lot of the one thing that is out there with a lot of people is, unfortunately, and that's why I move differently, is there's a lot of egos. A lot of people want all the, they want all the kudos, all the attention. So that, I think, is what hurts what we're doing, is when people want to, and they're entitled to be that way. I just, thank you, Toy Battle. Thank you as well. Appreciate you. Yeah. I'm glad you guys are using this. I'm glad it's working for you guys, because these are our freedoms. If they weren't working, now, mind you, they might make it a little difficult to get your freedoms. And the way I kind of explained it to this one lady who had a rough time, I think it was in Puerto Rico with the at the embassy doing her passport. I said, you have to realize something. Everything these people do is in symbolism, right? So let's use symbolism. All right. And some of these symbolisms have been lost to antiquity. I'll go into that later on if I remember. So the symbolism of what's going on is we started off in heaven. America, the Republic, was heaven. Then we were either, you could say, dropped off on the doorstep accidentally by our parents, or we walked out of heaven and we were left on the doorstep of the orphanage, which was the gateway to hell. So heaven heaven wants you to do whatever you want to do, whatever your heart's delight. So they allowed us to leave. Our parents were tricked into dropping us off on the doorstep of hell. When that happened, hell was like, well, guess you didn't really want to appreciate being here, but it is what it is. So they let us go by our own free will and accord. The gates of hell opened up and said, yes, you can come right into our maritime jurisdiction. And they let us slide all the way down to the basement, right to the VIP section. Well, not really VIP, but yeah, you get it. Then you woke up. You realized that you were on the island of misfit toys and lost boys. Okay. Now you want to leave. Now suddenly you slid down past the spikes. Now you're trying to go out. Now you're facing the spikes. And when I conveyed that to her, she kind of understood. And I said, she goes, but isn't the embassy supposed to be on our side? I was like, yes, but now they're the gatekeepers for heaven. Not everybody gets into heaven. Now you got to fight to get into heaven. So yes, you have to fight for your freedoms, because that's what Americans do. It's what we're known for. We got lazy. Floridian in the house. What's going on? 7-4. Laws, LAWS, land, air, water, and sea. Yes. Yeah, Peacemaker, what's going on? I feel like it's been a while since I've seen you on here. Nice job in the Wolf Den. When will you broadcast from there? Yeah, actually, I have it right here on my notes. Actually, it says from the cave. So I will make a couple of videos from down there. I was going to do it today. I just didn't feel like bringing the laptop down there. Plus, with all the black, it would have been really hard to see in the lighting down there, because it's a cave. So, but yes, I will do a video down there. I just got to figure out how I want to set it up, which way I want the cameras to be, and all that. But thank you on the cave. That's been a lifelong thing I've been working on. King, what's going on? Upper and lower, yes. Capitis medius, according to Black Law's dictionary. Your the upper letters represent a little bit in the corporate jurisdiction, and then but the rest of the lower level, lower name, topography, all lowercase. is the private. So a little bit private, a little bit public. You're mixing the jurisdictions. It's what's called alter ego. And I did a video on that calling multiple personality disorder. That's what that is. You're suffering from both. And so because that's a sickness, that means that by using it even a little bit, you're all in. It's what I like to call my dog poo theory, my dog poo cake theory. A little piece of dog poo in the cake makes the whole cake bad. All right. Or, yeah, I don't want to go to adults, but you get what I'm saying. It's all bad. A little bit makes it all bad. Lowest common denominator. Yes, you have to make it distinctive. Yep. I'm fighting, paying for the contract. You know, one of the things, Speed, you might want to try, offer them a negotiable instrument in the form of a promissory note. Why not? Or authorize them to discharge it. Send them a 1099-C. I would send it to them blank. I wouldn't fill it out myself. Leave the burden on them. And then tell them you authorize them to discharge it with a letter with it. That's what I would do. Tony, yeah, depending on what you need, yeah, just hit me up with a consultation. It's on blacksite32.com, and we can talk about your scenario. I guess email me first so that I know if it's something that I know I can do. You know, I don't want to do a consultation if I don't know, you know, what you need specifically, because I may not know it. I know a lot of stuff, but Treasury seal is green, God's green, earth, and the realm of substance. Yeah, there's a reason why they use green. There's some power there. I like to find their proof of why they use that. Even the use of the colors that I talk about and that we've talked about, from my perspective, the only person that it came from was the Judge Dale PDF. I've never seen it in their books, okay? Some people argue for Judge Dale. Some people argue against Judge Dale. I say use your own discernment. It is what it is, okay? All we know is that they have their books that under UCC 1-201, section 10, where they talk about conspicuous, that they use certain colors to mean certain things, all right? So there's something there, but if we can find where authorized representative. Okay, there you go. Thanks, Speed. Underneath the MP on the check line, or that, yeah, the check line is the authorized representative. All right. Yeah. If you guys want to chat amongst yourselves in there and share information, go for it in the comments. Where can I find information on being the original creditors? That's a good one. The problem is that everything that they do that's legal and public is going to be either in the UCC book. I even have, I've got last year's 2021, 22, then I got 23, and then I even got this one, Uniform Code Made Easy, so I can see their interpretation of the information as well. It's going to be in those books, you know, and so they're the ones who wrote those books. So finding information on being the original creditors, well, we know we are because we are living and because we can do work and our signatures have value, or our signatures and our names, John Hancock signature. Yes, anything we put our signature on has value, okay? Because we're making a promise to pay in the future or to do work, and so we are the creditors. The banks and things like that, they're not alive, so we're the ones bringing the credit to them. So we know we're the original creditors, but where you can tie all that in, you're gonna have to probably either get a bank book or the UCC book. Louisiana, running with the wolf. Run wild, baby. Run wild. What's going on, Mike? The Kia 17, what's going on? Appreciate you. Peace to you. Peace to all people out there watching. Okay, there you go. There you go. Yeah, like I said, promote it, put it out there. We got to get the word out. Chaplain, thank you as well. Appreciate you guys. West Coast Tom here. Tom the landlord. Like the PMA. There we go. Does that make it admissible in court also, the mail to oneself? So, yeah. Actually, I got that from a lawyer like 20 years ago when I paid him like $2,000 to do a patent for something I was working on. And he told me about how to do the poor man's patent. Yeah, that is admissible in court. That's why you get it sealed by them. It becomes fact. You know, if the government seals it, it's that's why they call it a poor man's patent. It is admissible in court. The 3 cent, that's another area where I'm not real strong at, so I don't have full information. If anybody has it and you want to share your thoughts on that, feel free to share that. We come from Boots. All right, the man, the myth, the legend. Well, I don't know about a legend yet. I've been doing this a long time, in the private for the most part. I use the number on the back of the social, converted the front is debit, and the back is credit. Yeah, I've heard that. Got Chicago, Devin in Chicago, Chi-Town. You probably know Finest Thing. I haven't heard from him in a while. Finest Thing walking. I'm trying to learn everything I could from if you're willing to mentor. Usually when people ask me that, what I tell them is watch all of my videos. Go back to my channel. Make sure you click the full video list, or on the bottom where it says view more videos or view all videos. Click that, and at your own pace, just go through. If there's something specific, a problem you want to work on, that's for like a consultation or a passport, or dealing with taxes or whatever. We can do a consultation. Just because, like, I mean, I could start like a mentor seminar thing. Maybe I'll do that in the future. But really, all of it's in the videos. But maybe I will open that up because people keep asking me that. I don't really feel as if I'm a teacher, like to really mentor. I'm just sharing with you guys what I've done to, survive and thrive, I guess. But yeah, like I said, use the videos, because if I charge you to, for me to mentor you, like, it would be expensive. And I try to keep everything cheap or as free as possible. Because people out here scamming and ripping people off. So, that's also why I do the lives. And but yeah, maybe I'll start doing the seminars, because I know people are waiting for me to break down some court stuff in there as well. So yeah, it'll be coming. But I'd say for now, just use the videos. Okay, Unity is the only solution, period. I have to write this twice because it vanished the first time. Weird. And only posted the smiley face, and always seems to happen when I end with a smiley face. Yeah, I don't know. Weird things happen on this channel for some reason. So could not tell you. All right, got Detroit in the house. The use of the social security card and its numbers not taught to us. Yeah, no, they don't tell you anything. They just go, here you go. Endorsement over autograph. Autograph is living, endorsement is commercial. Do blue. Yeah, blue is a good color because blue represents that you're in the water with them, but you're under your own jurisdiction. That's why they usually ask you for blue or black. Now they will tell you, oh, because it's easier to read. Usually red is easy, is the most visible spectrum that we should be seeing. So why don't they use red on all their stuff? That's right. I sent certified mail and placed a stamp on the lower right on the back of the signature across 45 degrees. All 15 pages. The document is the first in 3 years that was entered into the docket. Wow. Okay, Bill. Interesting. Yeah, see, they have a whole set of rules in their books, but they don't want to tell us anything. And the people at the counter only know so much. Okay, there you go. All right. People dropping knowledge out here. Heard of it, have not done it. So when it comes to the endorsements and yes, the indentured trustee, I'm still learning that part myself. Like I said, they don't share a lot of that information, and I haven't had a reason to sit down and just read that. Like I said, I'm still going through, I mean, all these books. So, but yeah, if somebody has it and it's solid, yeah, send it to me, show me. Overstanding, contacting. All run through the post office, the global postal trust, search it. Okay. Yeah, pretty much everything operates in trust. And even right now, America's in a trust. Ken 44, hi to the Wolfer. Listen to you from Norway. Love your work. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, you know what, Ken? I would not be surprised if the same things that they do here that they're not doing in Norway. They're literally doing this around the entire world. Caroline says, love the beard. Thank you. Thank you, Miss Lady. Appreciate you. The proper way to do it, the 1099? No, I do not have. There's Taquan. There he is. I see him in the comment section. To do the 1099, no. When I called the IRS, they specifically said that is not how those are supposed to be used. So they are not being forthcoming. I haven't done that. I'm always very careful, if ever, about doing anything with their paperwork when it comes to financial means, because if they're gonna bank you, it's going to be you using their paperwork and financial matters fraudulently, or what they're going to construe to be fraudulently used. And then they're going to come, federal on that. But yeah, so I'm still researching some of that stuff too, but how to do it the proper way without any worry, that's something I'm not a specialist in. There's Taquan X. Yay. What's going on? If you're around later, I might open it up if you guys want to jump on as well. A little while later. If not, peace to you, brother, and your family. And good work. And keep it up, brother, man. Jacob, pump it up. Pump up the jam. Pump it up. Yes, keep the beard, says Cherokee. All right. Beverly says only the 1099-C is filled out by us. Okay. Yeah, so what I usually do is I instruct people to have them fill it out. That way they cannot construe that you filled it out wrong or you didn't put the right numbers in. I like to make them do it because they are the trustees and they should be doing the work for us. So far, I haven't had any problems with anybody using them to discharge things and sending it in with a letter that says, I authorize you to discharge this debt. You know, I have enclosed a 1099-C for your convenience. You know, because they're the ones that are going to have the exact numbers and all that stuff. So if you feel confident to do it, that's on you. I take no responsibility, plus or minus. But yeah, I have them do it. That's why they're there. It depends on how you're operating. The principal is the trust. The principal needs to give permission to the living person as an authorized agent over any and all accounts. Then you sign accordingly. There you go. Yeah, they're dipping into our stuff. Poetic Lounge, what's going on? What's going on? Lots of people in here tonight. Must have caught you guys had a good time. The back is restrictive endorsement. All right, Beverly, if you want to break that down for somebody who asked, I don't know who it was, but yeah, go ahead. Let us know. Share what you guys know. The bill of exchange. I did a video on the bill of exchange. Not too many people really reached out on that. The bill of exchange, you can find information on that in the U.S.C. You can just research that. It's just you drafting up that and making sure that it's compliant with the U.S.C. And endorse it. And you can do a bill of exchange or an international bill of exchange. Some of them don't like the international. They just want a bill of exchange. So, because I know my international got rejected by the bank. But the bill of exchange was accepted, but the banks are supposed to accept the international version. So they actually had me redo it. They said this is not in the proper format. We do not accept international ones. Some banks They don't have a charter for accepting and doing things international. They're only national banks. Oh, hold on. Sorry. We know we can be a lawyer in fact, but can we be a judge in fact? And if so, where can we find that? That's a good one. I do know some nationals who are private who have created their own private or common law seals and have stamped those paperworks and have used them and been very successful. It's funny you say that. I just realized now I never told you guys that's actually what I do on my own private paperwork. I actually have it back there in my cabinet in the red. And I endorse all my stuff with that. Now, I don't specifically say a judge in fact. I used to say attorney in fact. But just make sure that you have private, or common law judge or something like that, or because you don't want them to try to say that you're dipping into their territory, you know what I mean? But, the in fact means that you are turning over facts. So as long as you're not saying you are a licensed judge, I mean, essentially that's what they're doing. They're all private. They're not licensed. They have a bar card. It's not a license. None of them are licensed except for the ones on the federal level. Federal judges and all them are supposed to be the ones who are licensed. And what is it, lawyers? I think, yeah. Lawyers or attorneys, one or two. I always get those mixed up. One of the two have to be licensed. Endorsements on the front, endorsements on the back. The front is the Treasury endorsement. It says without recourse. Securities are signed on the left-hand portion of the face of the document. Thank you, Chaplain. Hello, I'm a newbie. What's the topic? Kims, we are just talking in general about basically whatever people bring up. Now, even though today is kind of about endorsements and signatures, that doesn't mean that we are exclusively just on that. So endorsement goes on the front, top left of security, restrictive endorsements on the back, informational purposes only. All right, Nakia, appreciate you. Sherry got arrested and did 4 years. Yeah, did 4 years. Yeah. The reason why is because she, at the time, didn't understand that you can't just not pay them, okay? Because still using the social, which is construed and how she had been using it, as we all normally use it, as a taxable entity, all right? So the best thing she could have done, she didn't know at that point in time, would have been to either like get a 98 number or to create a tax-exempt trust and run everything through that, okay? Now, one of the things that we do, educational information only, is we send in the revocation of election. We know that they don't really care for those too much, but we still do that. But the big thing is creating something that's tax-exempt or doing like we do to kind of cover our back door is the SS5 process, where we update the social from the status of a U.S. citizen to a national. So you want to put as many things in your pocket as possible, but really all she had to do is create something that's tax exempt, and she wouldn't have had that problem. But continuing to work, well, at the time for them, and then everything else, and then, especially for her, because she was a bigwig, she was one of them. And they made an example out of her because she used to work for them. So she knows the inside thing. So they knew that her word would carry weight into this world. So, but yeah, all she had to do is create something tax exempt and she would have been fine. There you go. So 7716 says, check out 331 CFR part 32. Is that 8? 328 or 332B? 328. Okay, it's really small on my laptop. Part 13, it's a restrictive endorsement of U.S. bearer securities. So there you go. So that's where you're going to want to check it out. Hey, Will, could you speak a little bit on why we may not want to declare ourselves a citizen of the state we are an inhabitant of, as opposed to a national? An inhabitant, a lot of people construe the information differently, so I don't want to go against what other people say and how they move. But my perspective is that they refer to us as U.S. citizens, which is different than a citizen of the United States. A citizen of the United States encompasses everything. A U.S. citizen is just the one U.S. slave that they have jurisdiction over. The citizen of a state or of the state is essentially a state, supposed to be a state citizen. And you are then saying that, say, like for Florida, you are a Floridian. Okay. Now, an inhabitant, essentially, you're just saying that you're somebody who lives in that area. Okay. And that you don't have any of these associations or political ties or anything whatsoever, really. You're just, I don't want to play your game. I'm taking my ball. I'm going home. All right. So now a national, you are, when they use that, they're saying that all of the citizens of the state, the republic side, the private, or all of the state citizens, all the Floridians, the Texans, the Wisconsinites, the New Yorkers, the Californians together, they're saying that we recognize all of you guys together and we're going to call you guys nationals, because nationals is actually just another term for the word native. Okay. So if you guys didn't know, whether you're black, white, mixed, Asian, whatever, unicorn, UFO, Bigfoot, whatever, well, maybe not a UFO. You guys are all considered natives of the states. Okay. So most of those are really the same thing. They're all pretty much opposite of a U.S. citizen. Yeah, Joey, yeah. Well, yeah, they didn't like her opening up about she was going around the country and generating, well, they would consider it income um against them when she used to be one of them. So of course they didn't like that. You're making money, and they were just waiting for her to, not. And then the thing too, and me and her talked about it personally and privately a couple times, is that you have to, if you're going to do that, I highly suggest you, if you're just going to try to stop, to at least get the SS5 done. And then I would send them the revocation, or at least keep the revocation for you in case they attack. And then you really should just have a pass through. Just get create either a foreign trust, a private trust, create a tax exempt entity like a 508c1a, FBO, unincorporated association or whatever, something. And all they do is they just ask you, is it tax exempt? Yes. Shoop. That's it. All you got to do, even at your jobs right now, all you got to do is you go to the irs.gov, create you a tax exempt entity. You can either use your same name or create another one. You can have 5 of them, whatever you want to do, you do it, and you have your HR run everything through there. Now, we know that when you go to your HR department, use the W8BN or the W4V, or you put exempt on your W4 or whatever, or W2, that when, according to the IRS, you by yourself you can elect to make yourself taxable or exempt. It's all in how you use it and how you operate, or you inform other people. Because if they don't know, they're just gonna say, "Oh, taxable thing. Here's your," and then they're gonna come, bothering you. Read the bill of exchange. It's useful for endorsing. Well, then why not use what they claim to know to get out? It's civil, not criminal, right? I'd have to look at the codes, but yeah, it should be. Well, see, so what they do is on the federal level, over a certain amount of money can be considered criminal. That's how they get people. So most of that, and I don't know what the number is. I don't know if it's 10 grand or whatever it is, but if it's over that, then the government says anything done over that amount can be considered criminal. But see, I would argue that all day, because Federal Reserve notes are that's a private currency, first of all, So there's lots of arguments there. You can argue that the United States, according to Cornell Law EDU, the UCC section under 9-307, location of the debtors in the District of Columbia. Well, if it's in Columbia, I'm not doing business in Colombia. But how they get you, which ties you into that area, is the zip code, because those are theirs. How do you sign and give value to intellectual property tax credits donated to 508c1a since non-governmental and non-audit? So just sign a receipt for the stated value agreed. Yeah, that's it. You have the private when you have the power when you're in the private. Yep. You are your own government. Pay the fine and let you go, right? Yeah. Yep. Pay us money. Fed seal is Black Death and the Black Spot. Now the Beast of the Sea, Davy Jones, Vaticans, Leviathans. Yep, Leviathans. Yep. I know. Is drawn with ravenous hunger to he who bears the black spot. Yes. All right. Chaplain says, look it up. 42 U.S.C. 1395X. Foundling Hospitals. All right, you know what? I don't think I've looked up that code before. So I am going to put it over here. 42 U.S.C. 1395. All right, I'll go through all of that because that looks like a lot of info, but I will do that at some point in time. All right, okay, I found my spot. I was gonna apologize if I don't get to everybody's comments because there's a lot in there, guys. I'm gonna get to as many as I can, so I apologize if I don't get to you. As a federal employee, one is subject to more laws. Correct, yes, and you cannot get out of the tax because technically, I'm going to say something. Hopefully, I don't misspeak. So this is education. But from my understanding, you've checked off that you are, in fact, a U.S. citizen. So you are subject to tax because you are a direct public employee, trustee of the state corporation. But my theory is that though, say you can't really get out of being taxed on your paycheck, but anything else you do, if you create a tax exempt structure, you could transfer or gift your trust, said compensation without being taxed. But they're still going to tax you at work because you're a federal employee or a state employee. You're a direct arm of the beast. We wake up and realize we're on the island and more. Yeah. Well, somebody was playing, I think it was Pinocchio, the old school Disney version. Now, remember, guys, everything that they do, they put it out there in front of you. You may not understand what it is. You may not be able to comprehend the depth of the information being presented. You may even wave it off. But everything from the original Walt Disney Pinocchio, where the guy was in the room, he's like, we take the boys and we, like, wow, like it made the evil people uncomfortable, whatever that dude whispered in his ear. So they, just education. Okay. So yeah, they hide the information. Same thing with the Matrix. Mr. Anderson, do you think that's air you're breathing in this digital world? So Agent Wolf. So they put it all out there. Same thing with the Wizard of Oz. A lot of these videos and movies, they're telling you what's going on because that's the contract. Yep, correct, Chaplain. Yep. Beverly, yep. Yeah. She, I don't know if she was working there and still yet trying to not pay taxes. But I know afterwards, for sure, she was doing her own thing and generating a substantial amount of compensation. But she didn't have it. She didn't have a pass through, you know. And of course, yeah, they're going to make you um, pay the price because you're embarrassing them. You're one of them. You know, you turned on them. Do you help people like me who are just starting out with all this? Yeah, we could do a consultation if you want, but I have some videos titled "How Do I Get Started as a National?" So you can watch those. It's up to you, whatever you want to do. Yes, if you want to do a consult, you can do a consult. You're going to watch the videos. Go back and watch my YouTube videos on this information. I've got one called like step by step, you know, process for national state citizens. But yeah, I do that. Illinoisian to Levitican. Yeah, yes. Beverly says, I know the truth hurts. Cherokee says the cave is fire. Thank you. It came out pretty good. Like I said, it took me a little while to save up the money and to buy, you know, the stuff. Because those black tiles that I use, they're really hot right now, and like in the nightclubs and whatever else. A lot of people use them for their house, but those are like $10 square. So I was like, ugh, sheesh. I was like, all right, I'm gonna have to find some ways to be creative here, you know, and not mess up cutting them either. Not sure if you missed my follow-up question. Is the agent not signing the contract with the X? Is the agent not signing the contract with the X? Matthew, I'm not sure how you're phrasing that, unless I'm just, you know, not on my mark today. Is the agent not signing the contract with the X? Break that down for me. Poet Lounge says the cave is lit. Wolf. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate you guys. I'm a real private citizen, just saying how much they know. Yes. Taxes are voluntarily given. Yeah. Well, okay. So legally, they are voluntary, not for U.S. citizens or people who elect to be a U.S. citizen. And if you're in D.C. or one of their territories, you know, but for everybody else who've miselected, it is voluntary. But if you're part of the beast and you are the beast and one of the corporations of the beast, then not so much. Eric says negotiable instruments are gifts unless you perfect interest in it. Like sending cash in the mail. Yes. In the old days, the banks were easy peasy with it, and they honored them, no problem. Like I said, I was doing this for 20 years ago, guys. Like I was in the private this whole entire time. I only really came out into the public to start this. I think my channel started in like either 2014 or something like that. And then they shut my channel down. Be nice, YouTube. And then we had a negotiation, and they seen it. We negotiated that they seen it my way to a degree, and they put it back up. That's how I will refer to the occurrence. And then, so years later, some of them started going shady with it. So yeah, if you send them your instrument, you better make sure that you do it right. Small says, empowering evening, James. Well, thank you, good lady, Small. I appreciate that. Do you have any knowledge on stopping evictions from corporate landlords? Well, I'm not super versed there. The only thing off the top of my head would be, well, one, to compensate them. Two, you could declare bankruptcy that stops all actions against you immediately. Three, they might accept a negotiable instrument. Other than that, you would more so look in your particular state and you would type in how to stop evictions in your state. Because even if I tell you what's good in my state, it may not be the same in your state. Because remember, each state is actually its own corporation, though they work together. they have their own slightly different laws, including their own, some of them slightly different versions of the U.C.C. Beverly says blue is for banking. All right. Schaefer says, get your assumed name certificate at Minnesota, then publish a legal notice of your filings in your home county, state, before going to court. Timestamp several copies of the assumed name certificate. That is not a bad thing to do at all. Seeker says, I had the lawyers add me into a court case with them as my counsel in a case agentized the company trying to foreclose on me. It's on the road signs also, the colors, the flag etiquette. Beverly's, yes, you have to perfect interest in it from the beginning as creditor. Yes, that is true. Otherwise, they will look at it as abandoned funds, or they will trick you into signing it over to them. Who to report them to? It depends on which ones, but if it's the bank, they usually have a comptroller above them. You can inform the attorney general. Depending on the bank, you might have to type in who has legal jurisdiction over, say, Smells Wargo Bank, okay? And find out, because some have a comptroller, some have a different agency, but at some point in time, they can all be, taken to court. But as far as who can force them to do stuff, it's going to usually be the comptroller. Bankruptcy, laughing out loud. Yeah, because the whole thing with that is really you're just telling them you can't pay your bill. So though it does stop all actions against you, it's not necessarily recommended. But then again, if you have another EIN that you can operate your, as your another interface, then screw the straw man. That's what he was there for anyway. And actually, we had one judge say that all that stuff that they do, that we can do it, but they won't tell us how, because that perfects their no, it's job security, rather. It's job security for them. William says, yes, indeed, all praise to the Father. All right, what we got here? All right, so Maverick says, search the exemption by Moses G. Washington for the story that explains being the creditor. All right, I'll check that one out too. Put that on my list. Even though I said I was not going to buy any more books. Ew. All right. Okay. All right. Cool. Appreciate it. Big John. Yeah, UCC 9-307H is the location of the debtor. Yep, you are correct. Beverly says, I'm helping you. Yes. Yeah, we're here to share knowledge. I have my own PMA and postal trust account. Yeah, I've heard of people setting up their own locations as their own post office and updating the post office with that information. David says, you are not in international law. That's your commercial entity, and to stay private, you stay in common law. That's mostly true, Dave. But remember, because they are legally considered foreign, that was already done in the Supreme Court case that ruled that the United States corporation is in fact foreign in relation to the United States of America. And so they're actually doing a form of international law. It's just commerce in international because they are foreign. So that's where they get interstate commerce from. because they're doing international commerce legally on the legal level. Which is why some of those agreements and things apply wherever you go, because you can, and wherever you go with your straw man, even if it's another country, you know, it's international, and so they can still tax you. Do you know anything about how to claim the FDIC 250K insurance money? No, I don't. But my thought is that that is one of the scams that the banks do to us when they foreclose on somebody. So remember, think about it. If they're foreclosing on your house, first of all, you should have mortgage insurance somewhere tied into your mortgage. Okay, it should be in there somewhere to protect you. But the educational information only, my theory is that the banks not only scam you on the front half, okay, but then they make a claim with the FDIC for that, because they're basically saying, oh, well, we need insurance, or we need this insurance over the accounts, because if they're saying you defaulted, I am pretty sure that in the back half they are making a claim on that. So I would say if you get foreclosed on, to contact the FDIC and see if they pulled that money. See if the bank made a claim on that, because remember, the security for your transaction is the promissory note, and they should have that. So that's supposed to insure your house. So if they have that and they make an FDIC claim, that's double dipping and fraud. And it's supposed to protect you. Abdullah Hood says, using a claim for damages using subrogation tomorrow. All right, what else we got going on here? Traveling Disciple says, beard and mustache is nice, brother. By the way, it's Alan. Keep up the awesome work. Appreciate you, Alan. Yeah, thank you. Like I said, it's weird. It's itchy. I'm not used to it. My face is not used to having this, so I'm trying to get used to it. So bear with me if you see me touching a lot. It's weird. I feel like there's something on my face. Well, I guess there is something on my face. All right, where are we at here? We're in an hour and 165 people. So we should be near 165 likes, good people. So make sure you do that on your way in. If you can't stay, then make sure you click the like on the way out too. Appreciate you. I've learned a lot watching your videos, Badwolf. Thank you. Yes, yes. All I try to do is provide you guys with the tools and make sure that, you know, you guys are vetting information and you're putting it together. It sounds like you guys are doing a good job. Like every day, you know, I've had one lady message me. She said she beat some charges. Another person got their house back using the information. So sometimes you guys are using the tools that I'm giving you guys, and you're not letting me know either that it worked or if you did some kind of modification and it worked. And like, let me know. You know what I mean? Like I said, that's why I don't specifically say do this, 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 and this for this. I just provide you guys with the tools. All right. This helps to keep them off my back so they can't say I'm trying to do this or that. All they can say is that I'm providing tools and education. All right. But yeah, if you guys find a master way or something that works, you know, let me know. All right. Because I like to learn this stuff too. Can you explain the poor man's patent? The poor man's patent, as mentioned to me by a lawyer that I used a long time ago, was you draft up everything possible. Let's say it's you come up with a new widget. All right. Put the date and the time you came up with the widget. Explain the thought process behind why you think this is important, how you came up with it, the color, the dimensions, how you use it, everything you could possibly think of. You're going to break it all down in there, take it to the notary, get it notarized, make a couple copies of it, put one into a letter, and literally mail that letter to yourself. Then it will come stamped, dated, sealed, and everything by the Federal Postal Service. and that becomes fact you can use in law. Some people use that same process with their affidavits. They'll send them to themselves. You don't really have to do that per se. But doing a poor man's patent or copyright on your name, your own non-UCC lien, you can do those things as well. Let's see. All right. Wow, you guys are kicking in the comments. I'm gonna try to get to some. I'm gonna get to. I'm probably gonna get to maybe. Let's see. We'll do a number of some more comments, and then I'll open it up and see if anybody wants to jump on and share a success or something. We'll kind of go from there. Let's see here. Hold on. Chaplain says, get yourself a concise English handbook and start over. Yeah, reading their books and learning what, or in this case, I should say reading books that explain things is definitely good, especially if they're from accredited people. Looks like some of you guys are having some conversations between yourselves. That's cool. Okay. Leisha R says, I've been using the 3-cent stamp method over a year. It works. I track all my own mail. Yeah, I know people who've mailed things for free. I know I already showed my document before where I've gotten mail, sent mail, and had that go through for free, not even with 3 cents, but yeah, I've seen people use the 3-cent method as well. It says, read the UPU manual. All right, I'll take a look at that. All right, Chelin says, Global Postal Trust Service, the Postal Service is provided to the United States as a trust service, and the Post Office, that's correct. International Bureau is the grantee, and the United States is the trustee. And the people are the benefactors. Yes, I've heard that. Yep. Yeah. The USPS is different than the post office box. That's a lot of the reasons why they don't like you to, educational purposes only, update the courts with a simple letter using a post office. They don't like that. For some reason, they keep seeming to say that that's out of their jurisdiction. Healing Goddess, thank you. Looking beautiful as always. Appreciate you. Love the beard. All right. Hey, I will keep it around. I will keep around. Now, if one day I'm making a video and you can't see my face and it's just some eyes, it's still probably going to be me. All right. But if it's only eyes and you can't see them and there's all beard and the glasses, all right, start questioning some things, okay? In case they, cloned me or something, I'm pretty sure you guys would know if that happened. I start talking crazy or weird, All right, what do we got here? All right, Maverick says, lawyers do constitution and federal, attorneys do legal and commercial. All right. Hamlet says, the SS5 is the way I did over a year ago. Yeah, like I said, when, I guess as the grandfather of the SS5 process, all I did, I literally just sat and I was like, you know what? Everything that they gave us if you think about it, it makes sense. Everything that they gave us was commercial, public, dead entity. So can we go back and change those things? Can we fix them? Can we remove them? How do we, so, that's why I made the videos on the authentication process. We've been fired with that. Everybody's using that now. I remember a couple of years back, nobody knew what that was. All these gurus were out here. Oh, the wolf doesn't know what he's talking about. He's just some young kid. Now everybody's using it. SS5 process, same thing. So anywhere where they're giving us something, like I forgot which one of the former original presidents, he said, anywhere where the government provides you with something, you have the right to do the opposite, or to do it privately. So unless it's like something dangerous, like hazardous chemicals and whatever else, weapons, then, weapons you can do privately too, because you can actually make your own arm, or, piece one together. But if you accept theirs, you're accepting the benefit. $10 million money project says the 1099A is for debts newer than 3 years, and 1099C is for debts older than 3 years. Info from here. Yeah. So what the IRS told me was that the 1099As are mostly for commercial institutions, and that it's an abandonment or an acquisition of acquisition of property or abandonment of funds, and that the 1099As and the 1099Cs, the C is for canceling the debt, are good for those things done within the last 3 years. Okay. And if you guys differ on this particular information, you can call them yourself, or just get the instruction manual for it and read it and have your own interpretation. So it's a recoupment where you can get, like the A, if you use one, let's say I use an A on my house. According to IRS, if I set them a 1099A to my bank because they're not paying taxes on my house because they consider it a private deal, then essentially they're supposed to send me back up to 30% for up to 3 years back of my money, because they're not paying taxes on it. Otherwise, we can get the IRS involved, and then the IRS will get that money from them. That's how they explained it to me. And the 1099C does the same thing, but you're canceling the debt. Okay. So that's how at least the person on the phone explained it to me. Let's see here. So probably in about 5 minutes, we'll open it up and see if anybody wants to jump on and share some stuff real quick. Don't feel bad if I don't get to you. Don't feel bad if I'm like, hey, you had your piece, you gotta let somebody else talk. Because sometimes people jump on, they want to talk 800 years, and it makes me very sleepy. Kim says, so am I hearing that we are going to be putting a position where we need to reclaim who we are in this country? Well, in this country, there's two things going on. There's the private side and the public side. And the public side is commercial, and it brings you under the state's corporate jurisdiction, okay, under the corporation, all right, along with the federal government. So they're operating a corporation. And that is different than you being somebody private and being a beneficiary in this country and a native with a family tribe, or with a tribe, a clan, a nation, of that. So yeah, it's you have both, but you've only been operating on the public side. Most people don't have anything private, no private trust, no private name, no nothing. So that's why you're subject to all of their rules. Now, it doesn't mean you're above the law, but what it means is that the law is for people who cannot self-govern. Okay. So they created these laws for corporate employees, which is the all caps name. William says the sovereign states of the Union have the power to bestow nationality on its people, Louisiana and Florida. Yes, that is correct. They also, this is also the reason why you don't need to authenticate your heirloom, birth record, certificate of live birth, or a certified birth certificate, only the state issued birth certificate, because the county already authenticates those documents. They bring you in as those things. It's just that you have to know what you have in your hand. All right, so Chip Smith says, claim your estate, 26 U.S. Code 2207A, right of recovery. So that should be one you guys want to check out. All right, appreciate the knowledge. Let's see, 2207A. All right, so this is how I get my homework. You guys bring stuff to me I don't know, and I check it out. David says, citizens are entities. Yes, this is correct. Belly says, foreign trust. Yeah, remember the word foreign, private and foreign are synonymous, okay? So if you're private from them, you're foreign from them. You guys are going, yeah, they're chatting amongst yourselves. Oh, Lord. Okay, so Dre says, anyone have any luck getting a sealed case with an Article 3 Chancery strictly equity? There's only, I believe, 3 de jure equity courts, and the only one I know of off the top, without trying to get a hold of one of my people who knows a little bit more. There's one in Tennessee, and I think is it Henderson County? I think it's Henderson, Tennessee. There's an equity judge there. That's who you guys should be running a lot of your stuff through. So I would check there, bro. Get in contact with them. It's somewhere in Tennessee. I believe it's Henderson, but just type in equity judge, equity court in Tennessee. Try with the word Henderson in there. If it doesn't come up, then remove Henderson. But that's one of them. There's 2 more somewhere. How are these contracts even legal with the fraud using language? So they're legal because legal really means within the corporation. So they are not abiding by their own rules, which makes it illegal. But if you don't catch that, then they consider that to be just good business. Now, it also would mean that they're not lawful, which means that they are not abiding by the Constitution if they deprive you of your rights or they simulate that they are the law, okay? Because they are, in fact, they have the legal ability to do what they're doing, but they're not the final law of the land. Remember, all these states gave up a percentage of their sovereignty, which they wish they had. See, that's what's funny. They don't want us to be sovereign, but they wish that they were sovereign from the federal government so that they didn't have to abide by and get their hind end smacked by the Constitution. Because let's say like Minnesota, all right, say Minnesota could become completely sovereign again. They didn't have to worry about the federal government or you guys filing lawsuits against them in federal courts. Then they could literally do whatever they wanted to do. They would be completely sovereign, but they're not. So they want to be sovereign, but they don't want us to be. They want to be private, but they don't want us to be private. See how that works? So, but unfortunately for them, they gave it up. Why did they give it up? Because they wanted to make sure places like Russia or whoever else didn't come here and attack Minnesota and then take over Minnesota. Or what if Canada invaded Minnesota? Then Minnesota be called New Canada, and we're all safe, but everybody in Minnesota, get your toques out, all right? Start stocking up on loonies and toonies. which is their currency. If you guys didn't know that, it's really, yeah, it's funny. So they gave up their sovereignty to be a part of the union so that they would be protected. All right. Well, but in doing that, that means that they do not have absolute rule. All right. Santa. Hey, Santa. Santa Mike. Appreciate you. He says, hello, JCL. Appreciate you. All right. Here we go. Tina says, hi, James, and everyone this evening. So hello to everybody. A couple people in there are chatting themselves away. All right, we got Sophia finally caught alive. Hello to you. Hello, hello. Appreciate you. There's Mr. Q. What's going on, brother? Maybe it's just me. Maybe I haven't done a live in a while, but I feel like I haven't seen you guys in a while. Tawana says, thanks, Wolfie. Appreciate you as well. Thank you, thank you. Yeah, we covered that one. It's a different code, 26 CFR 25.2207A-1, right of recovery. Oh, yeah, we looked at that one. Love Jack said $10 a square. Yeah. It was. It hurt my feelings. I mean, they're fire. But yeah, I was like, oof. So I'll be honest. What I did was I went on to AliExpress, I think it was, and I found them cheaper. Okay, but the problem with AliExpress when these came, the reason why they were cheaper is because they weren't milled to the millimeter tolerance. So there's some spots, there's little tiny gaps in there, and they didn't come with an adhesive. The really expensive ones were $12 a sheet, and they came with adhesive, but they were milled perfectly flat. So the ones I got were just, some of them were milled a little bit off, and I didn't know that. You know, I just thought I was getting a good deal. Well, now I know I get a good deal. All right. So when I put them up, I put them up with a adhesive, like a liquid cement. And I was like, why? Why are they just a little bit? I can see a little space in between there. So I didn't think it would be that bad when I spray painted all of it, because if you buy the black ones like I have, they're more expensive too. So I bought the white ones, which were cheaper, and I just spray painted all them black. But it took me a little bit more time to cover them up. So the room before that one, that's what's going on with those tiles. So now I have to like drywall mud in between them and make them all look better and stuff like that. So that's why it's taking me a longer time to finish that particular room. I got a deposit, private VIP, cryptonic internet for both the Batcave and YouTube as a second platform. The other one is a growth kind, regards to you. Okay, yeah, holler at me. Holla. Pina says, do state employees have to pay taxes? Yes. Yep. While you are in public capacity, you are an arm or a finger or a hand of the state, the beast itself. So yes, you have to pay your taxes. But if you have other things going on that you want to transfer so that they're not taxed later, then you want to get a pass-through. You want to create a trust or a private entity that's tax exempt. Zofia says, my baby is free. Is there anything I should do? I recorded her birth in my family Bible. I personally would go to the irs.gov website, and I would create a tax exempt entity in your child's name, or your offspring is the better word to really use. So create a tax exempt entity. Then I would also create with you, your man or your partner or whoever, your family who was there, might have been present. I would create a secondary document of the record of live birth. And I would get everybody's signatures on there in front of a notary, get it stamped. I would put on there that, she's or she or he or They are a state citizen, a national, a private person. They're of live birth, you know, things of that nature. I think I've got some free samples on my site, or you can just pull some down or mimic what's already in the Bible, but add to it, you know, put that they're in the United States of America. Put down that they're in your tribe, you know, whatever your last name is. I would use stuff like 8 U.S.C. 1401 A, you know, meaning that they were born in the private as a national. You could also use 8 U.S.C. 1101 22B, that though all people are U.S. citizens, not all U.S. citizens are yeah, all U.S. citizens are nationals, but not all nationals are U.S. citizens. So put it in there, and like if you're born in Florida, call her a you know, natural born Floridian, things of that nature. Because then when she's older, she or he is older, when they want to get a passport, you have that document. I would then take that document, and you can actually do well, once you get it notarized, you don't have to do this, but you could use a DS 4194 to send it off to the government to have it either authenticated or apostilled, you know, to bring it in their jurisdiction or out of their jurisdiction. And now you've got a document, no matter where you want to use it in their system, it's good to go. But usually, if you send in your document, which is up to you, I wouldn't. We send it to the state would issue you a birth certificate, because they would take your original master document and convert her into a corporate U.S. citizen. She already has the right to be here as a national in a state, or she or he as a national state citizen. So I wouldn't do that, knowing what I know now. But if you want to, those are options. But at least create your own document. Have you successfully used accepted for value? Yes. Accepted for value is essentially nothing more than you telling them to utilize your social security number with no dashes as an account, and you're the account holder, and you're authorizing them to discharge it through there, which the Treasury and all them are familiar with that. So yes, I have done that. But if you use Federal Reserve notes, is that also making you a federal employee? So we've had many debates on this. Some people have argued, yes, that does make you part of their system because you're playing with their monopoly money. However, if you do read the money, it does say for all debts, public or private. So federal employees cannot be private, they're public. So to me, I would denounce that all day if they said that's what I'm doing. I would say that you show me where in the law or in any of the codes it says use of this is contractual. Now it might be there. I've never seen it, but that's kind of still yet out for debate. But you know, what do they say? It's that would be like, if you're using some of their stuff, you could be construed to be part of them. Okay. So, but do we have a method or another way of not using them? Yes, you can actually have your checks, when endorsed properly for lawful money, with your bank or the reserve or the Treasury, and they will pay you. No, wait, not Treasury, not the reserve. And they will provide you with lawful money. So there are ways around it. You have a brother named Rodney? If you're talking to me, I don't have a brother. I have a cousin named Rodney that maybe you might know, or something like that. Looking good, Agent Wolf. Yes, I'm on the inside. I'm a triple agent. I'm on whoever pays me the most side. Oh, let's see what else we got. All right. A lot of people are talking. All right, so hold on. Let's see. We'll do a couple more, and then I'll open it up for a little while. See if anybody wants to jump in. What's the downside to a father who is still trapped in the system to not get his children birth certificates and social security numbers when they're born? Should it still be done? That's a personal decision. I don't have a good answer for that, because when you do bring them into the system, you do get certain benefits. Like some people got the COVID money, you want, you want the free phones and the free this and the whatever else. So there's benefits that if you want those benefits, you can get them. Now, from what I've been able to understand is that even nationals, well, I shouldn't say it correctly, even nationals and state citizens, we are entitled to these things as well. And we're supposed to take over our age of majority, our major account, but they won't show us how to do that. They talk about it in the books a little bit, but they won't tell you what offices, what paperwork, where to go, how to, get your securities, none of that. None of that. And I guess the big thing here is that a lot of people say that it's because that's private. So it's not supposed to be like on a YouTube thing. Because the people that I do know who have, what's going on, LL? Thank you for joining. People who have accessed it, the last bits of information they were able to tell me, and I'll explain why, is that usually if you do it the right way, that somebody will show up at your door, ask you how you were able to, how did you figure out this information? Who told you? And basically this is considered a national thing, and that they usually have you sign a non-disclosure agreement, and then they give you access to your accounts. But more than that, they all go quiet on me after they sign these agreements, when they, because that's the game. This is the game. So I'm like the guy outside the door of all of that. I'm just showing you guys, hey, here's the way out. All right. But as far as how to then utilize that which is ours, we have a rightful ability to access that as beneficiaries, that I don't know. They won't show. And I'm pretty sure if I did know and I did put it on here, that video, like certain other videos, would go missing. So all I can tell you is that I do not know how to do it, but keep hunting, because there are people out there who do know it. All right. Well, we do have one person against me with the beard and mustache. Make It says, no, beard and mustache is not cool at all. It makes you older and look like a carpet. You were so awesome before. Clean that up, please. All right. So we do have one against it. All right. We got one nay to the yays. All right. All right. And William became a YouTube member. Thank you, William. Welcome home. Welcome to the real world, as they say in the Matrix. Appreciate you for coming on board and supporting. All I can say is if you haven't been to my blacksite32.com, check it out. There's a lot of good free files there. A lot of great information. So far, nobody's really said they thought the site was crap, and when I find more goodies, I will put them up there for you guys as well. Alex says you can operate in private by learning about all 4 bankruptcies of the U.S. and multitude of codes under Title 12 and 15 U.S.C., as well as Public Law 73-10 HGR, House of Joint Representatives 192. The last part I knew. I haven't read through all the rest of the other parts of the code. Name of the bank and the trust books he mentioned. Well, Concise and Weiss is the trustees book. The bank, the only thing I can think of, maybe talking about like the UCC. There's banking information and how they're supposed to move in the UCC book. All right. Well, you guys are having a good old time in his comments. I'm trying to catch up. Just got a whole nother list here. Young Rice says, thank you, Morpheus. Yes. You know Kung Fu? Show me. Show me your private Kung Fu. Wow, you guys are going at it in here. Lots of good information. All right, I'm going to try to. All right, what do we got here? When creating a power of attorney. Okay, so you can either create your own or you can use their form. But okay, with that being said, is it the straw man give the power? Can you help me understand if it relates to transferring power to a real or living person? So when you use either their form or you create your own, essentially what you're saying is that you the agent, really you're the beneficiary. So let me say this correctly. What they do, okay, so they put us in a position where that we are the trustee, co-trustee, and co-beneficiary over the straw man, but they switch the hats on us. But in general, you are the beneficiary. We'll just go at it this way. And you are you're authorizing somebody else or another entity to have full legal rights over the straw man. You're allowing somebody to have the same power that you currently have over it, and you're giving it to them. Okay, whether temporarily or however you want to, do it, or if you're incapacitated. But yeah, so it's legally it's only over the legal person and not the living you, but it is construed that you are one and the same. And in fact, you're not. So we know it's not. But say, for instance, you were to do that, your own document or theirs, and you specifically indicated over my living, real, natural person, then it would legally be you that you're giving them that jurisdiction. But legally, it's a legal person, the straw man. All right, what do we got here? Should I still keep my children out of the system? And what's the downside of them not having birth certificates, social security cards, whatever? And should I get them EINs at birth? If you're not going to give them a social, then they're going to need an EIN at some point in time. They're just going to. That's called a public transmitting utility. They're going to need to be able to interact, unless you live on a farm and you think that they themselves will never want it. Now, when they get old enough, they can get it for themselves. So it's really you and your partner, your family, your tribe. It's your decision. But I would get them some EINs with their legal name, so that they can operate that as them or as they see fit. Keeping them out of the system, I would love to say yes, keep all of our kids out of the system. Unfortunately, they're going to want the draw of a cell phone and getting a loan and whatever else, so they're going to interface with it. But at least if you get them an EIN, then they only have, the states and whatever only have jurisdiction over that legal entity. Okay, so they can't try to make it a personal thing and draw you in like they try to do with the social and the birth certificate. Okay, let's see. Carl's got another one. Thanks. My question is, since I'm still trapped as an employee with no trust, et cetera, or anything making me private. So Carl, you already have a private side. Whatever state you were born in, whatever the local term, people like in New York, they say New Yorker, California's a Californian. That is your private side. Okay, that is your claim to the land. You were born in the republic of the private side, non-commercial, non-formal side of your state. Okay, that's where we, the people, come from. So you already have a private side. You can develop it by creating a private name. Instead of using Carl Patch, you could, go by Lord Carl James of the Patch Nation. You can just create yourself, Insignia Blue, whatever you want to call yourself privately. Start getting magazines and mail sent to you with that private name. Now you're creating that private name as a real thing. So you already have that, and you can create a trust at any point in time. But if you're still trapped as an employee, that the state, and I've done this for federal agents and people in the DOD and people in the White House and whatever else. So yes, while you're employed, you are trapped, but that's just literally when you're at work. The moment you're done with work, your private side kicks in if you understand that you are private. So you're not truly trapped. You're just utilizing. It's like, using a garbage bag to pick up, dog poo. You know what I mean? Like, you're not touching it. You're using something to interface. All right. So when you're interfacing with the system as an all capitalized state or federal employee, that is a, well, could I say it's a private condom? You're interfacing with the system in the public world, but you're using that so that it's not your living private side or personality persona that is in it. Okay, because their system is all about legal dead entities. So you're putting on a mask of something that's not alive to operate and look like you. They just give us the same names. It's kind of like in the old days, and I'm sure some of you guys probably still have this, they would give you an employee number. Well, that employee number is your transmitting number to do business within that corporation. So it's kind of like that. All right. We are at 2 hours. I am going to open the floor up and put the link out. And if people want to jump in, like I said, if everybody, if you don't get a chance to jump in, sorry. If I have to cut you off, sorry, and all that good stuff. So, all right, we'll see. Hold on. All right, I put the link in the comments. So if you guys want to jump in, like I said, if people start arguing or it gets a little too crazy, I might just drop you. Don't take it personal. That's not what we're here for. We can converse admirably. And if not, then as the bad wolf, I will just remove you. You are the weakest link. Otherwise, yep. So the link is out there for anybody to jump in. Otherwise, I will keep going for a little while longer and look at some of the info. All right. You got to have your video on and all that good stuff. Otherwise, it usually won't let me let you guys in without that. So, all right. So we got Mike. We're going to bring Mike in. And we've got Alan waiting. So Alan, give me a couple minutes here just to introduce Mike, and then we'll bring you in, see what you guys got to say. What's going on, brother?
Hey, what's going on? What's going on, Badwolf, man? I'm over here. I'm just chilling, man. I'm over here at work, man. I love what you do, bro. Keep it going, man. Always keep that wonderful content going. I see there's so many more people that are waking up after being asleep. You know, they starting to unplug. We see what's going on, the real world, so to speak, quote unquote. Everybody stays plugged in, but they're watching everything else that's, going on in the world. So yeah, man, there's a lot of stuff I realized once you start getting free, you get other things that try to draw you back in on some kind of like John Wickness. You get out, you trying to get out, and they just try to reel you back in like, no. So you got to do what you got to do. You got to make your own due diligence. You got to do your own due diligence, and most of all, try to stay as private as you can, even if you are having some 1 foot in, 1 foot out kind of deal for the people that are trying to work their way out. Stay as private as possible. PO boxes, anything that you could do. Just keep yourself as private as possible. When they ask you for your information, now I know why a lot of people say, nah, I don't really want to give that. I just want to buy what I want to buy, and that's it. And I want to be on my way, because they want to stay private as possible. It's true.
Facts. That is true, brother. You nailed it right there. The whole thing is you either get a PO box or a virtual box. Those are good things to have. Trusts, are private. Those are good to have. Anything you can to stay private is the way to go. So, all right, we're going to bring Alan on as well. You guys can interject, try not to step on each other. We're just a normal conversation amongst private peoples here. And without further ado, we're going to bring Alan on.
Hey,
What's going on,
everybody.
Alan? How you doing?
Man, I'm doing awesome. I always love coming on and seeing your energy and your light, and I just always appreciate it, man. Like, it's perfect timing, and you really inspired me to do the YouTube videos. So I'm starting to do some like health and wellness videos, because that's what I love. And we need to know that we're being poisoned by the government. Or sorry, we need to. I'll keep it. Yeah, we need to know where we're being.
Don't get me in trouble, bro.
Yeah, no, I know. That's why I stopped. We need to know we need to know we're being, just
that the that certain additives that are prevented from being placed in the food over in Europe that are here for whatever reasons are not conducive to proper health. But all people, this is educational information and entertainment. So that's your own information.
So it's been like I got back from Michigan to Texas, and I just learned a lot along the way about cold plunges and just more sauna. And I got on some black garlic. Like I went to a farmer's market the other day, and I bought some raw dairy and grass-fed beef and ground goat. And this stuff's so important. Like, it's real food, and our body's supposed to be a temple, and we just got to take care of ourselves. So
you are what you eat.
Yeah, I just appreciate you guys.
Yeah. Hey, JJ, I seen you sitting in the green room. In order to get you on, you have to have your video on. StreamYard won't let me bring you on unless you have video. So you got to turn your video on before I can get you on. So that goes for everybody. If you're going to be on, you have to turn your video on if you have video. So, but yeah, feel free to chat, share what you guys got going on. That's why I do this, man, for everybody to kind of meet each other. We're living life right now, guys. We are alive. This is a moment that's never coming again. We are on the edge of the razor blade. Meet, greet, share, black garlic. I got a whole thing of black garlic on Amazon. I think it was like $4 or something like that. And I use it for everything when I cook. I use pink Himalayan sea salt.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I use potassium. There's the Morton Girl. They actually produce a natural potassium that tastes like salt, but it doesn't have the negative effects that salt has. This actually has health benefits that the body needs, whereas the regular table salt strips. So it's crazy. So like I said, I got that. Yeah, go ahead and check.
No, there's just a bunch
naturally.
Oh, Mike or Alan, go ahead. I'm going to step off for 2 seconds. I'm going to grab it.
You got it, Mike. You got it. I accidentally cut you off.
Yeah, man. I noticed, like, a lot of things when you're doing things privately, you're traveling privately. I noticed that you get more respect because you move a certain way. Usually normal people wouldn't be able to move the way how we move.
Yeah.
After learning, what they're learning. And it's just all done in good faith, We come in peace. We're not out to, harm anybody or seek to have a bad reputation. We just know who we are. And, prosperity is our birthright. We're supposed to do these things. We didn't come into that knowledge, just by, just guessing, just playing the guessing game. We had to go through some shit. You know what I mean? Just doing not just different processes, but we had to learn it. It's just like learning in school all over again, but without the school. I think that if a lot more people learn that type of knowledge off the bat, that would be a good thing. But not everybody is meant to have that knowledge because not a lot of people moving in honor. Now I know why they keep things a lot, a secret. Because they're like, hey, what's this guy? What makes this guy worthy or this woman worthy enough to have this kind of will and power? Then you get the people that are ignorant that don't want to learn it, but they expect everybody to have things. They don't deserve it. You have to earn it. The respect is earned. The knowledge is earned. You have to go through some shit first in order to keep that. There's rules to the shit when you get in this game. It's kind of like, you gotta have your wings. You gotta know how to crawl before you can walk and run. And you gotta wiggle and roll before you fly. You gotta get your wings. Period.
So real quick, I just want to jump in. So this is what I was talking about. So you can see this is a legit product by the Morton Company. You don't see this on the shelves.
No.
You don't see, I mean, for people, and I almost said I don't want to get into the medical aspect of it, but all I can say is that it's right here, Morton. So it's a salt substitute, okay? Sodium free for all cooking. And then on the back in ingredients, potassium. So This is what they use right here, or this is what I use. I got a couple of these bad boys already. And when I'm done with this one, if I don't use the pink salt or this, that is it. So unless I'm eating fast food, no, it's not expensive at all, bro. You can get that on Amazon. If your store doesn't have it, try to go to a natural store and pick it up. But I ordered that off of Amazon. I just typed in potassium or salt substitute Morton on Amazon, and I had it sent it to me in like 2 days or a day, something like that.
Nice.
And I want to say what I want to say, but let me see if I can say this correctly without getting into them bothering me on health things. A lot of people with certain health conditions, that's what they should be taking, and some natural doctors inform them that is a healthy thing to do. But before anybody does anything, go and talk to your doctor beforehand. Don't just jump off or move or anything, because I'm not a licensed doctor or anything like that. It's just do your own research. I'm just saying that there are alternatives and products out there that might be better for you than what's just quick to get on the store shelves.
Man, so
choice preferences.
So that farmer's market was crazy yesterday, man. That was like I was in heaven, because like the raw dairy, I haven't had milk in like years. I couldn't tell you. I'd be lying if I told you 5 or 6 years. But for instance, like I just bought it yesterday, and I put I drank a glass just maybe an hour ago while I was listening to you, and it was the best tasting stuff I have ever had. Full fat, unpasteurized, not heated. I mean, just incredible. Like, and it's got all the good probiotics in it. And they won't even let you sell that. They won't even let people sell that in stores. But they sell the sugar laden crap that's causing people cancer. And we know, but still.
Allegedly. Yes.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah.
I probably need to go so I don't get us kicked off of YouTube.
No, you're good. You're good. As long as we throw the educational word in there, and so yeah, they do that because, well, up the line, they're looking for cheaper ways to, make the product and to make the maximum amount of income. Okay, so it's money. If it was cheaper for them not to have any of those things in there, then they would. You know what I mean? So all they're doing is they're providing a product, and they're trying to, push it to as far as it can possibly be pushed, that it's still considered edible, and then give it to us at a high price. And unfortunately, most countries around the world, they won't let most of our products in.
Yeah.
Like one guy did a YouTube, and he was showing what's in ketchup. And he's like, over in, England or Europe, their ketchup made by the same company, I won't say the word, a ketchup company. They, over there, it just says tomato paste, salt, and that's it. But ours has like 20 or 30 different things in there. You know, so
That's
there
right.
comes a part in it where you go, isn't it more expensive for them to put those things
Right.
in there? And if you're doing that consciously, then it seems to me that like you're doing it purposefully to, for certain reasons that aren't beneficial. You know what I mean?
Did y'all see the guy that did the Chick-fil-A video? He was like, I know that Chick-fil-A doesn't have these long lines and they're just selling an awesome chicken sandwich. And he looked up the ingredients and it was like over 50 ingredients. And you know what was in it. It was stuff to
Yeah.
make people come back.
Yeah. They're always, I mean, they're going to put in a lot of stuff in there because they are straight guerrilla pimping their products. And some of their stuff is so close to, and the part that gets me is that, like, how can they put out a product? Like right now, I've had people who, buy something from me and they merely go, oh, well, this wasn't as described, which I describe exactly what I'm doing. But,
Right.
they'll try to scam or whatever else. That's a scenario. But you've got these products on the store shelf that have stuff in there that, I don't want. I know you guys don't want. And the other people, they don't know what it is. They're just like, that's food and it's cheap and I'm broke. So I get it. And it's hard to tell somebody in that position, like, hey, don't eat that. Go and buy the more expensive natural stuff, which is why you have to also ask yourself, why is it when you see these wealthy people or these, high-enders or elites, when you see them doing conferences and whatever else, they always have out the purified water. They always have the expensive salads. They always have like the good food. You know what I mean? Like they're not putting McDonald's on the table when they're out there doing these things. You know what I mean? So they know what's going on, and I just can't believe that it's really going to. None of these government agencies, they're saying the way they get away with it is they go, well, we're only putting in small amounts of this particular whatever.
But it adds up.
That's the problem, because right now there's no standard for not only what that particular, let me say this correctly. If you go to the Food Drug Administration website or the EPA, you see what's in certain things. It'll tell you what the toxicity levels are of exposure to these things. But they're getting away with it by saying, oh, well, but we're only putting in a tiny bit of it. But like you said, they're not showing what their own product can do over X amount of years with that, not only particular substance, but the combination of those substances in there. And the big thing, and this comes from the original Batman with Michael Keaton and the Joker in there, where the Joker put in these chemicals in certain products because it wasn't the one product, it was all of them together that then did something to you. Okay? So not only is it that one particular item, but it's all the items in there, your red dye, this, your, yellow 5, your sucralose, your aspartame, things of that nature. And then what does that do with the fact that you go and wash your hair and there's fluoride in the water? And then if you didn't know, in the word fragrance, there's 20 or more different chemicals in the word fragrance. They just use the word fragrance to represent their patented private concoction of whatever they have in there in their soup or their goop in the word fragrance.
Yeah, they don't have to disclose it.
Yeah. So that to me is crazy. So it's going to take a lot of work for a lot of us coming together, waking up to this information and doing something. Till then, eating as healthy as you can. Like for my shower, I've got a shower filter on my shower head and got one on my fridge. Because I don't want to drink that. Bottled water can be good if you can go to like a natural aquifer and get real water pure right out of the ground from an artesian well. Man, let me tell you, you've never tasted real water until you've tasted artesian water, man. Let me tell you.
Sorry to cut you, but
when I was
coming back from Michigan, Texas, I always like stopping in Hot Springs, Arkansas, and going to the bathhouse, but filling up my jugs at that spring. And it's the best water you will ever drink. Not it doesn't have to be that one, but just that hot spring water, man. You could taste the difference, and it actually fills you up and hydrates you.
Yeah. So the whole thing is that, you know, if you get a chance, go and visit your local farmer or whoever has got one of those, um, and live a little bit better.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, okay. So we're gonna try to get back to some of the info here.
Sorry.
Um, okay, you're good. You're good. A couple people are getting antsy, like, I came on to listen to. So the whole thing with to get back to the main subject is, and you can stay or you can take off if you want as well, Alan. You're totally welcome. Um, is that when you enter into a contract, what you're essentially doing is you are making this official. You're jumping into a specific jurisdiction where you are now under either your shared rules, okay, your own laws that you guys put together, or a jurisdiction that comes with its own established laws, rules, and codes, and you are to abide by them. So that's how they get people, is because they offer us incentives, privileges, bribes, free things, phones, stimulus money, et cetera, et cetera. And when you take the bait, you are now in their jurisdiction. And to make it even more formal, they give you a public transmitting utility that you are then using for everything else in your life. So it's not even like it's a one-time thing. I jumped in, I jumped out. They've made a way so that people can and do live their entire lives in their jurisdiction, because in within their government as an employee. So that's not the end of the world. It's not necessarily a horrible thing if you know how to use it, and primarily even more so what it is you're doing. Most people don't know they don't know anything. They don't think second guess. So to them, we sound crazy. They're like, but if you bring the pieces together, then you start finding out that, yeah, this is all real. So Beasley, thank you for the $5 donation. Appreciate you there. His question was, sent my birth certificate with a statutory declaration of status to Virginia. I got 22 CFR 131.1 refusal to authenticate. They assume I will use it for illegal purposes. Wow. Okay. Well, I would have to see what your declaration said, but if they refuse it, which I'll give you that. That's my first time seeing them say they refuse to authenticate it. What I would do is I would send it back maybe as is. And this might sound weird, but I would try to see if you can apostille it, bring it into, because if you made it your birth certificate. So your birth certificate, if I understand correctly, let me back up and be legal in this for a moment. If it's truly the birth certificate and it's not something you made, then it's the one you got from the state. And if it's truly the birth certificate issued from the state, it's already in the Hague jurisdiction. And if you were trying to authenticate it, then but you say here with a statutory declaration of status. So it's probably because of that. It's probably your declaration that they use that as a reason to refuse to authenticate your birth certificate. So I would send it back with just their form and not your declaration. I wouldn't use that. I would just send it back and authenticate it. Use the DS 4194, probably like how you already did, and don't add a declaration of status with it. And you should be fine. All right. So let's see. Yeah, people are chatting all over the board here. All right, let's get a couple more on here. All right, there we go. We got JJ. He's got a video up. All right. Yep, they can work with that, brother, or whoever. I don't know who you are yet.
No.
JJ, you're on.
Oh, hi. Hi.
Hey, how you doing? Yep, you got the floor. You're live. Unless you just wanted to hang out, that's cool too. All right, we're gonna bring Mike on. Mike, whenever your video's ready, go ahead and light it up, and I'll know that you're ready to come back on. All right, it's just probably doing something. All right, so once again, so we're just breaking down what they have. Now, obviously, some of the stuff we were talking about here, they do not have detailed out in the books that I have or that I'm able to find thus far. So some of that, we cannot hold them to the letter for that, all right? Because they only go by what's written. Now, one of the things that I noticed is that in the government's GPO Styles Manual 2016, in there, they do address the use of the capital lettering in some of the various things that I was talking about. Now, from their words, they literally say almost word for word this. They said that due to some of these things, the uses of capitalizations, punctuation, certain marks, some of these things, and the original meanings or local customs, etc., may have been lost. So the true meanings of some of these things may have been lost to antiquity, meaning that they're so old, they don't even remember why they're doing it. They're just still doing it. And because they only have a piece of why they do it, they maintain what they have. Now, I found this to be true in what they're saying when it comes to the all caps name. Now, we know that it's a legal entity because right now you can go to the IRS and create a legal entity without your name. So obviously that's not you. And it comes in a legal all capitalized format, so we can construe that the states are doing the same things. They're creating a legal person, okay? Which would then be opposite, which is public, which would be the opposite of a private person. So we know that. But then you got things such as the use of the gold fringes on the flag, which are not in the de jure government's description of the true American flag. So when looking for that as to why they do that, it's decoration. Okay, if it's decoration, why do you have specific rules that flag cannot be flown outside? That flag is to be flown inside, and it's only to be on something that's movable. These are very specific things. Now, I know, first time I came across this information was from my Boy Scout leader who was in the military, okay, and it was pretty high up. And he told me, you don't salute the one with the gold fringes. That's a maritime flag for the corporation, meaning inside, office, or official use, office use. That's not a de jure one like the Article 4 description of the American flag that is to be flown outside and put on a non-movable, meaning and connected. Here's my connection to it. So this is my speculation, or observation. The real de jure American flag is connected to the ground-mounted and secured flagpole representing de jure American.
Well,
But
but that flag is the gold flag is actually for when we're at war, and America's been at war for a long time. That's why you're going to see the gold fringes.
Well, it's the United States is at war. The corporation.
We are at war. The United States is the corporation. The United States of America is the republic. And the United States has been perpetually at war for a very long time.
Right. Yep.
Against the people.
No, I mean, there's other countries we go and we pillage and we take what we want.
Yeah. Yeah. They're basically at war with everybody. Who wants some?
Well, I wouldn't say everybody. I mean, NATO and the Europeans tend to be our allies because America's a European country. It's founded by Europeans.
Yeah. Yeah, basically anybody who's not already on our team, essentially.
Well, yeah, exactly. Capture the flag.
Yeah, what was that? That brings in what's his name? Russell J. Gould. I haven't quite figured out if his information is solid about him actually saying he captured the flag. I don't know if you guys heard about that.
No.
No? Oh, okay. Yeah, if you ever go to his channel, he talks about how him and David Wynn Miller, who
I remember
used
David Wynn
colonial.
Miller. He
Yeah,
passed away,
yeah,
I believe.
yeah, that's true. Yeah, he passed away, but Russell J. Gould was partners with David Wynn Miller, and so they claim that they captured the flag, and according to him, he says he got beat up by the government when he did it.
Well, I mean, I've been doing
So
this for a very long time. I like listening in, though. You have some pretty good information, but can you speak on people that are trying to travel, but they don't have, like, let's say, a manufacturer certificate of origin or a manufacturer statement of origin, and they just have a certificate of title? How are you going to travel when that's a state-owned vehicle and they're the trustee and you're the beneficiary? Like, they could tell you everything what to do in it.
well, the first thing there is if you do have the mock title that they have, you can try to get that from the manufacturer. The manufacturers can reproduce, or they should have it on file, the original ownership document. Otherwise, according to the Supreme Court, anywhere where there's a document that the state has, we have the ability to create our own. So you can pull all the information, create your own, and notarize it, and that can be used as fact. Now, I actually did that when I went down to get my vehicle out of the tow yard when I was first learning to do right to travel, and they accepted it, no problem. They're like, "Yep, you're the owner. We got it. Cool. It's notarized. Sounds good to me." But more than that, you need to transfer your vehicle to a trust with their documents. Once it's in a private trust, then you can do right to travel and create your own plate. And then you update the DMV with that trust information or trust name. Now you're considered private. And so, if you like in Wisconsin, the state code is 341.40, where they put this under foreign registered vehicles or non-resident registration. So I highly recommend anybody who's going to be right to travel to go to their state's legislation code, download that and keep it in their travel binder and make all the necessary changes to the ownership of their vehicles if you're going to do it. It's just not mandatory, but if you're going to, like me and various other people, then you want to make sure you give them no room to use it against you, because I went through all of this, and everywhere where I didn't have it right, they whammed me, and I had
And
to
then you
fight.
use
And then
like a surety bond for financial responsibility, right?
yeah, yep, you got it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I've been doing this a while.
yeah, yeah. Alan, did you want to jump in? Are you good? Or
I love the private trust. I've been doing private trust for quite a while, and then I came upon you and learned all the other stuff, the passport, the U.C.C.
Well,
So
that's interesting because I know you have a world passport too, right? One of those novelty documents. Have you ever been able to travel with the world passport, or is it just used for identification?
the world passport, believe it or not, is accepted at in a number of countries as is, but it is
Like
not
some
accepted.
small poor shit countries, or can I actually go somewhere nice or what?
Yeah, when I looked at the list, there was probably about 30 countries
I
that
saw
they
some
have
third world
used.
countries that people had stamps. I didn't see any first world countries, not even second world they got into with that document.
Yeah,
It depends where you go to.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
I said
honestly, it
I've
depends where
seen
you go
some
to. You
third
got to
world
go to certain
countries.
offices.
I haven't seen anyone with France, Germany, Italy, like no NATO countries. I've seen some African countries. I've seen like Cambodia, some poor Southeast Asian countries. I haven't seen anything first world where I just walk up with my world passport and be like, hey, I'm here. Stamp this.
No,
Yeah,
you
I
see,
haven't.
when you get off that plane, you got to make sure you know which office you're going into to let them know that you're coming in, or they're not gonna recognize it or who you are when you first come in. That's how you
Okay,
got to
I've
do it.
heard
And you
that too, but again, I've yet to see
Mhm.
anyone with stamps from a respectable country that got in with a world passport. People say that. No one's showing me a passport like, here's my stamps.
I mean, I didn't
Yeah.
know it was that important. Like, what are you trying to accomplish? Like, you just want to see
Well,
somebody with
I'm
it,
not.
or
I mean, I'm not trying to accomplish anything. I've been doing this a long time. I'm already a private citizen. I'm just saying it's
oh, okay.
bullshit.
Yeah, it's definitely not accepted worldwide. I think we can definitely agree on that. I've been told other things by key people in the military that were interesting. Like one lady told me that she uses her birth document that she got apostilled um, and authenticated, so she's good on both levels, and she has been able to use that to travel. Now, I've
Now
never
you
heard of anybody
can, but
using that.
you have to do that a specific way, right? So if you have an authenticated birth certificate, authenticated fully at the federal level, right? What you have to do is you have to contact the embassy of that country and say, "Hey, this is who I am. I have a travel document. I have my birth certificate so I can get back into my own country. Will you allow me into your country?" And sure, they'll issue
Right.
you a travel document and they'll say, "Yeah, you can come here without a passport as long as you're coming straight here. You have your authenticated birth certificate so you can get back into the United States and you got to go straight back there." That's true.
Yeah. Yeah. That's factual. Hey, what's going on, Big John? Introduce yourself and welcome to the forum.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you. What's going on, everyone? My name is Big John. How y'all doing today?
Hey, what
Good,
up?
Pretty
good.
good, brother. How you doing?
I'm doing, man. Just I'm in the middle of my 928 process. I'm almost done with it. I got most of my documents certified and recorded with the land recording office. I just had to turn them in to the proper places. But my question to you, man, I don't know if this is a public or private question, but I'm sure you'll let me know. Where can I find the assessments and the actual monetary value to every like presentment or charge, if you know what I'm speaking about? Is there a specific name for it?
Um, I don't know if anybody else can answer this easier than me. So if you can, feel free. But
I can go ahead and try and give that a stab. If you're looking at
yeah,
basically everyone that's using your social or all the coupons, you can have the IRS audit anybody and they'll just take a percentage of it and they'll be like, "Hey, this is how much is in there
Okay.
according to your
yeah.
social security number."
Now, another thing you can do is you can pull the Nubident record for your Social Security account and see who's been using it and how much they have used it for. So that's one
Mhm.
thing. Another
What's
way,
that
if you're
called
talking
again?
about
Numinant record.
Nubident, yeah, Nubident record, and
Okay.
Nubident, I believe, Nubident.
Well, I mean,
Sweet.
anyone you give the social to, I believe they have you down as an employee. So I think it's what, a W-4 that you could give the IRS. I'm not sure which form it is. Have to look at my notes, but I think it's that one. And they'll audit those places and they'll give you what's yours.
Okay. Cool. I mean,
Um,
uh, go ahead.
Yeah, if you're talking about like any like specific documents, it would be getting the QSIP number and then plugging that into like um, Quantum Online or TDA, Treasury or whatever else to pull the
Well,
QSIP number. What they usually do
if those
now is
are
they
marketable securities, right, and you're looking to get them in your TDA account, you personally can't do that yourself. You need a fiduciary, you need a bank, you need Form 56F from the IRS, and that
Okay,
allows
I
the
got
bank
one
to
of
be
those.
the fiduciary and access the treasury. You can't access it yourself.
right,
Right.
right.
Right. I don't think you understand what I'm. Okay. Let's see if I can word this right. Uh, when you go into one of their foreign bodies, right, and the bar association hands you a complaint or a charge or information, whatever the case may be, they take out the monetary value before they give it to the people, correct?
Oh, are you talking about if the case itself has a value? Like,
Yes,
okay.
because a
You're
charge is a
talking about
lien.
the municipal bonds, I believe that's where they
Right.
go.
Okay. But where can I find the hidden monetary value that they take out?
You mean the
The
value of
compter,
the case, so you can try and discharge the case, right? Is that what we're talking about?
or put it on the public record?
Yeah, well, I haven't
I don't
done
know
it,
about that.
but I know
Shoot.
that once you get the case
Yeah,
number,
I ran to that shit before. I ran into that shit before. I had one.
yeah, there's a
Yeah.
website that you can put the case number in, and well, you can ask them for the QSIP, the number
Well,
on the.
I know that they turn them into municipal bonds, and that you can use a GSA bond and just leave the number blank and have the judge or prosecutor fill it in or whatever. I know that works. I've done that.
Okay, but how do I get it for myself so I can put it on a public record?
No, you would just fill out the GSA bonds with your information, and then the numbers you leave that blank. That's for them to fill out because you don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I couldn't put it into evidence and put it on the public record so
Well,
other
what you
people
can
might look at
do
the
is
case and
what I'd recommend is you go get his oath of office and a copy of his bond, and you file that into the case so he knows that if he doesn't respect what you're doing, he's going to incur commercial liability. Is the first thing I do. After that, I put
okay,
in the GSA bonds, and I wouldn't argue with him no more.
got you.
Yeah.
I was just
Another
curious
thing
because
too.
I never could find it.
Another thing too is what a lot of people don't know. Certain clerks. I'm not gonna say too much, but certain clerks you gotta get close with, and you gotta talk to them privately, being that you have the power to control that account. It's business. A lot of people they
Right.
go in there into a public setting and then they say, "Oh, well, I want this turned into the record." No, you pull that clerk to the side and say, "Listen, I know what's going on here. I'm not saying." And they say, "What do you mean?" No, I'm not gonna say this in the public, but there's a matter of a case being a certain amount. I got control over that account, so you need to come to me with those numbers. I'm not trying to handle things in the public. I want this handled privately. Thank you.
Right,
Please get
because
back to me. You got 3 days.
we
Yeah.
are the holder in due course of these assumed names. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right.
But you
Yeah,
gotta
but
you
you're
gotta
only
let
the
them
holder in due
private.
course if you do a UCC 1 and a 3. You have to protect your interest in those instruments. You can't just give it as abandoned funds and say, "Hey, I'm the holder in due course." Like that doesn't work.
Yep.
Okay.
Just saying there's one thing coming to them on a personal, like one-on-one, they're not going to be so easy to
Right.
just toss you around once they know who you are, and you keep that, to yourself. Once you have that, control over that account, you got to control that account and then go to them directly with the shit, and then watch how things happen. Things will disappear. I ain't going to say too much on here, but things will start to, from a bumpy wave to hitting a potholes on the road and shit, you swerving. Next thing you know, you'll be swerving around bills. Just make sure you keep an honor. You're like, damn, bumpy ass road, swerve. This whole shit charge, swerve. Talk to the judge. Judge be like, hey, he'd be like, dismiss, swerve right out the court. That's what happened to me.
Well, before I start traveling in my private capacity, I just wanted to make sure I cross my T's and dot my I's. You know what I mean? Before I start traveling. So I was just curious. You know what I mean?
Start to make your claim for certain people or certain divisions on public notice. That way, if they try to call you the SC word, I ain't gonna say it on here before they call you the SC word.
Right.
They know who you are because you gave them public notice, and you tell them, listen, I am this or whatever. I am not that, and I'm giving you public notice that I will be traveling a certain way. So thank you, and just this is what I go by. So whenever your dogs are out there lurking, seeking to bite people in the cheeks, just let them know that there is a liability for that, going south on that. So this is what I'll be doing privately. I'm privately doing this. If they ever come at you with, certain type of lingo, just say, hey, listen, I'm not going to argue with you. It's obvious that you may not know what's going on here. I think you need to ask your, your head honcho about me. And also, could I please get a supervisor out? This is the document that I sent to your head guy. They're going to be like, all right, just get him out of here. Yeah, don't fuck with him again. And they have rules for people.
Well, see, this is why I
like
got my
us.
travel stack printed out. I just need to get it notarized and all my stuff sent out to the proper departments. You know what I mean? So I can put them on notice.
To the proper departments, and also get their rules book, because they have a rule book. Not to say that most of them don't read, but some people may need an extra reminder, a little bit of a refresher of the things that they're supposed to go by, rather than just say, okay, lock them up, throw them in, hit them again, I've seen certain things that certain people do, including myself. I'll go there and I tell them who I am, and they're like, you know what? Yeah, just let them go. Or a couple times I popped up in there and I say, hey, how you doing? I got my book out. I got certain things that lets them know who I am. And they just, before I even get to the door, they say, the little guard comes out, says, hey, you're good to go. They don't want me in there. They don't, because they know it's a certain liability factor when it comes down to it.
Exactly. That's
cool.
who's going to end up being surety for the matter.
No, when it comes out,
I noticed is making sure that vehicle is updated in the DMV, that has been transferred to that private trust. That has been, for me, one of the number one showstopper, because now the legal person who they have control over doesn't own it. I don't own that vehicle anymore. I don't own any of this stuff no more. It's all
own nothing, control everything.
Control everything. Yep.
So when I make my private express trust, do I need to get it notarized and recorded like all my other documents, or is there any particular process I need to follow with it?
Well, I mean, me personally, I have foreign trusts and I just purchase them from overseas. Like if you want the Cayman Islands, you want the British Virgin Islands, or you want Panama, there's plenty of places where you can set up a foreign trust and it's outside the jurisdiction of the United States.
Right, a private express trust.
I don't deal with those because to me it's pointless. I mean, if you have a real foreign trust, you have real foreign trust.
Yeah. It's certain things you got to do when you have it in there. You could get all of that stuff done with the DMV. Just make sure you have it all there. And I know that this works because of the fact that I've actually had quite a few run-ins with the unwanted kind, the hijackers, and so far, when I had, they got the scanners on the car. So whenever they scan certain things or whatever, and that pops up, I saw one about to pull out. And then after he saw who I was, he went and parked that shit back like a Cadillac with a back smack. And that was it.
James, if you don't mind, what's your opinion on this? Sorry to interrupt you, man.
No problem.
No worries. So once you make your trust and it's private, you use a different name, obviously not your legal name as the name of the trust. And you I've seen people where they put USA because USA is in fact foreign to the United States. They're two separate things. That essentially becomes a private trust or a foreign trust. I've seen people use their own nations, whatever it is. Once you have that done, you get it notarized. Much more than that, you don't have to send them the trust or anything like that. All you have to do is tell them this is a private trust with the DMV. I'm transferring it to this private trust. Get the paperwork, get a copy of it, put that in your travel binder. Now, I did read our particular county's code where it did say that if you're doing foreign or private travel in the area, they would like to be notified that you're doing that. So I did file that with the county. I sent one to the chief of police. And when I got bothered the one last time, it was only because I had just put my vehicle into the trust by 3 days and the system hadn't updated it yet. It was too soon. But I called the commanding officer when these guys were behind me. And I just told her, yeah, I'm a private person, blah, 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 my stuff checked out. No, get an echo.
Not only that.
I remember one time I rented an Escalade, right? It was brand new. I always look at the registration. The owner was a foreign trust. The lien holder was the Bank of New York Mellon.
All right, and once I made mention to the commanding officer that my vehicle was in a trust, she knew exactly what I was talking about. So keeping it in a private or foreign trust is the way to go.
The private trust is incredible. And I've been doing that a lot. That's what I'm really good at. And I know it works because I've been visited by 2 different agencies, and they didn't threaten prison or anything. They threatened my life. So yes, it's real. Yes, it works. Put all your stuff in it. Don't nothing control everything.
Are you guys hearing an echo? Somebody's got their mic up.
Yeah, there's a hell of an echo.
Yeah, there's a super echo.
Okay, that's better.
All right, everybody check in. 1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3.
I'm good.
1, 2, 3.
Check.
Is it me?
It's probably me. 1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3.
Good to go.
Oh, it's gone now. It might have been a system glitch or somebody was too close for a moment.
But yeah, even like
right, everybody
companies
says-
that are doing that when
good
you
now.
rent a car or whatever, like they're using foreign trust, even if there's a lien on the vehicle or whatever. You know, the owner is always a foreign trust. They have no liability on the actual company. It's ridiculous.
So I don't got to record it with the land recording office like the rest of my documents.
You can. It ain't going to hurt anything. It's just one more place where you can use them to make your claim in case they ever try to come at you. But once anything outside of a registered or name with them is foreign. So, I mean, whatever you want to use, as long as it's not your legal first, middle, and last name, you're good. You've made your trust. You get it notarized. Update the DMV that's been transferred to that. Call it a day.
You could
That's
put
it.
your property in there too and get the
When I
property
had
removed.
exactly
Yep.
when I had my car put into the trust, and I went in to go ahead and get it recognized to make sure that they know and they see everything in there. The guy actually came from out of the back office and pulled me to the back. So he basically pulled me to the back office with him in a way. That's how serious and that's how deep it is. If you online with everybody else, that's for the public. When you are in the private and you're doing business and you're doing things a different way, they will say, "Excuse me, hello, yes, you, this one, okay, all right, come over here." And everybody else will just be online like, how the hell did he go all the way from the back of the line to the front? Because they know what you're doing and they know that it's serious. As far as things, they know you're handling things on a much bigger scale. This is serious. This is not to be taken lightly. This is private stuff.
They don't want
there's
people to know the truth.
Yeah, aside from people knowing the truth, they know that you mean business, so they're gonna take care of you first.
Remember,
or they're gonna wait for everybody else. Yeah.
Private, and private people are typically looked at as VIPs. I mean, even even without the passport process, we're actually considered internationally protected people when we're back operating as Americans, not U.S. citizens. Those are two separate things. So every time you do something private, you're looked at as VIP because everybody else that they deal with are U.S. citizens, which are public, which are general employees, trustees, if you will, of the corporation. So we're bottom feeders when you're U.S. citizens. But when
you should also get dual citizenship. Dual citizenship is something that everybody should definitely consider as well. I mean, I'm not going to say which countries I'm a citizen of, but I'm definitely a citizen of more than just the United States, and I have more passports than just a U.S. passport. So,
yeah, that's fire right there.
Yeah, they don't want people to know this information. One of the 2 agents, when he came, I was playing pickleball in Florida, and I had an agent come out to pickleball. And long story short, one of the things he said was, good people have to die to conceal the truth, right? And I said, yeah, I know.
They like to keep a loving eye on people who, depending on how you move in the game,
right?
That's what it is.
Well, as long as you don't go putting liens on public officials.
All right, gentlemen, we're on here for almost 3 hours now, so I'm going to wrap it up. But I want to thank everybody for bringing their information forward. We will do this again. Hopefully everybody watching and here learned something from each other, and I appreciate the cooperation from everybody. At the end of the day, we're all in this together. You know, we are patriots, we are natives, we are just good, free people who deserve our liberties, rights, and freedoms. So continue to do what you guys are doing. I will definitely do this again. So thank you for supporting. And, you know, if you guys want to sign off, go ahead and I'll run it out lastly, and then we'll get going. And everybody
Appreciate it, brother.
night and a great week.
All right, man. Take it easy.
Yeah, I just want to say, you know, thank you, everybody. Thanks to you, Badwolf. You know, you changed my life amongst so many other things, man. Keep doing what you're doing. Everybody that's out there, if you're doing things privately, do it privately, but do it in honor. You know, not everybody's supposed to know this type of process. It is your birthright. You're supposed to prosper from it. Use it properly and always stay in honor. And that's all I'm going to say. For those that don't want to, you know, learn, got to leave them there. It is what it is. They're not everybody's built for this type of movement. You know, it's
Facts.
It's straight A VIP shit, like you said. But anyway, with that being said, I'm on Mike So Focused. Badwolf, keep doing your thing, bro. Appreciate you, bro. Do your thing, man.
Mike,
I'm out.
Appreciate you. Thank you for the support, man. Appreciate
you,
you.
bro. Thank you.
All right, guys. Well, with that being said, I'm going to wrap it up, but I could not agree more with everybody and their information. Even in the comments, you guys had great stuff. Once again, you know what, like Mike said, you know, this information, and everybody kind of hit on the same thing. This is our information by birthright. And unfortunately, there are going to be some people who are not going to use this information or whatever else in the proper way, which is why I try to construe, learn their codes, move privately and properly. You know, but even if somebody does not, the Constitution allows for you to choose to not operate correctly. It allows for you to be a public problem. But here's the thing. You're not above the law. Nobody is. The safety of the public and the fellow man will always, just like in the old days, when they used to hunt down dragons or, you know, the village creature or monster or whatever else, they will come for you because you're jeopardizing everybody's peace. And no matter who you are, that's a problem. Okay. So, but yes, this information is for everybody, but not everybody knows how to wield it the correct way. So if you're going to use and do these things, make sure that you guys are in honor. You're not a belligerent nor a combatant. Operate peacefully, privately, do your thing, and you just keep it moving. So with that being said, guys, thank you for supporting the channel. As always, everything here is education, entertainment, informational purpose only. Do your own research, whether you guys get your information from me or the next person. Try to make sure that you do not get scammed by people out there paying high prices for all kind of crazy stuff. All this information, even the stuff I present, guys, is free out there, but you have to do the homework. I provide it on a low-cost basis and without any stigma of, you know, religion and this and that on it, just the straight facts, okay? And I try to make everything as cheap or free as possible and give you guys as much extra information. So check out blacksite32.com. And also on that site are all my social media platforms you can find me on. Make sure that when you're in any of my specific groups that it's probably not me messaging you out of the blue. I rarely do that. I rarely have time. I wish I could. I just do not. So be careful who you're talking to. Do not send anybody any money, especially if they're trying to pretend to be me. Everything I do is through blacksite32 and those email addresses listed there. And be careful of the spelling. Even my name right here on the bottom, there's people in even some of my groups that will change the lettering by one letter, one number, one little something to try to pretend to be me. All right, so we've been minimizing that. And this goes for other platforms, goes for other YouTubes, people you do other business with. Be careful of scammers out there. They are working hard. If you're going to send money to somebody, make sure it's the correct person, because once you send it, it's a whole hell of a problem getting it back. All right, if ever. So to all my nationals out there, patriots and state citizens and private micronations, have a great night. Stay true to yourself. Take care of yourself health-wise, and make as many people around you aware of this who are interested, but don't try to force this on anybody. All right, because not everybody's ready for this. If and when they're ready, be ready for them, okay? Take care of yourselves. Have a great week. Thank you for supporting. And with that, I'm out. Woo!